Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago's trading up.
100.
Yes! What? Oh my God. Just reporting.
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're mouth stuck like the Jew and now and later. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks trolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Jimmy. What's the name? We do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trick sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it.
1 point.
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Birds never lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo! This is Claudio the Barber, and this is TTNL's Keepin' It 100, the best bear show on the planet, bar none. Well, listen, after another horrible loss, which makes it a record 13 losses for the Chicago Bears, they get to play host to the Shit Show Bowl this Sunday against the Broncos. So there's a lot to talk about. Of course, we got another great show for you tonight. From the Bear Report, our old friend Zack Pearson will be on the show. So let's get right to it. Let's bring on the boys, Shane, the smartest man, Marcel, and Draft Dr. Phil. What is up, boys?
Not the wins.
Not the wins. It's a sad state of affairs right now for our Bears, guys.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if it's sad, Claude. At this point, it's expected. It's who they are. It's business as usual in Hallis Hall. You know, people are like, "Oh, you got to give them." I'm like, "No, I don't have to give them anything, man. We're used to this. The inept nature of Hallis Hall is the same as it's always been. It just has different faces. And now it's time. Now it's Kevin Warren time. Now we get to see who he is. Are you going to be different? Or are you going to be a guy that loves to smile in front of the camera and hand out free tickets to window washers? Are you going to make an impact on the franchise and not behind the scenes with having better food in the media box at Soldier Field? Is it going to translate to W's on the football field? And that, end of the day, is number 1, number 2, and number 3 should be for a football franchise. Bears fans should be pissed off. I'm pissed off.
They are. I mean, listen, we've been doing this show for a long time, and the pre-chat usually is on fire where people's in our chat talking. Everybody obviously is just speechless, I guess, right now. You know? I mean, I know Phil's not speechless. Dr. Phil got a lot to say.
It's what I said it was. It's like I take a lot of shit a lot of times, and it is what it is, but that's why this network is the Tape Never Lies network. And even my pointed approach, and I know even people on the network, not Shane, but other people were saying I was being too critical of Coach when you come in after a big loss or another loss and you start listing off the positives. I said that is a shoe salesman's way out. Well, we're 13 losses in a row. Do you know what he started out his presser with on BHL? Shane and I don't do it. Don't do it. He comes right out, starts listing. Well, in the start of the third quarter, that's like,
Yeah.
And what I want to do tonight, and I didn't have time because of the stuff I'm dealing with, but I wanted to show Eberflus's post-game presser versus Sean Payton's post-game presser. And you see the difference of two head coaches and how they handle losing. And to me, Eberflus is handling it almost like inevitably. Oh, we're
the thing, Phil. You can't lose 13. You can't be 13 in a row and hold your composure the entire time. And because I understand it's a different team, it's a different set of circumstances. The fact of the matter is the head coach isn't different. The general manager isn't different. The coaching staff isn't different. The quarterback isn't different.
Yeah.
That's my point. There's a lot of pieces that are still here. 13 losses in a row. You have to be special. You have to have a special set of circumstances to get you to that point. When they say it's hard to win in the NFL, it's hard to lose 13 in a row in the NFL unless you're an inept franchise. And that's exactly what the Bears are. They don't deserve to be labeled anything different.
I agree with you. I got more to say about it, but super chat is open. Kerry Franklin, I want to thank you for your $20. But when I see that little bottom orange, I know you had something to say. So put it in there. We're going to get to everybody's super chat. And you don't have to just look for Kerry Franklin's comments because I want to get his up there for what he's doing here, and we appreciate you guys. And I gotta say this, football is a game that is almost like life, and if you're not prepared, you can't keep rewinding history. Yeah, we should have probably played in the preseason, but we had injury. Well, guess what? You got injuries now. You have to give live reps for your football team, for your coach, for your quarterback, for the offensive line, for the running back, for everything, for it to counteract a CBA that is set up to be soft and bubble wrapped in that area. So as a head coach, you have to analyze your roster properly. They didn't. And the McCaskies are okay with these guys that are tucked in, as Steve Edwards says, that are going to church with Virginia and George on Sundays when they should be getting ready for football games. And watching the tape, I couldn't even put out the tape today, Shane. I'm like, I can't. It is so bad. It is so bad. The quarterback's bad. The tight end that they paid is bad. The right guard they drafted is bad. The center that they signed, he's bad. We could go down the list. It's over and over. It was 34-0. And as Shane, you are the smartest man because it's just like you said. Do you know what it takes to lose 13 and break the Bears all time? It takes a concerted effort of stupidity and negligence.
Over 100 years.
And this guy still fucking coaching. I believe it was Ben Ricketts who read my mind and said, this George McCaskey run fuckface organization wouldn't hire his grandfather if his grandfather interviewed. No, he's got too big, because that's how dumb they are. They want these yes men in this position. They don't want a guy like me. They don't want a guy like Olin Kreutz. They don't want a guy like Jim Harbaugh. Like, they don't want Rex Ryan. They don't want any big they don't want Deion Sanders. They don't want anybody with a personality that's going to push back and say, George, shut the fuck up and get out of here. Like, they don't want that. Kevin Warren, he's the unknown. He's, as Shane said, and all our fucking eggs are in the Kevin Warren basket right now, because he didn't hire this GM. He didn't help hire this coach. All those fucking people that were involved with hiring Eberflus and Poles and Polian, if you connect these fucking dots, should be gone too. This is the biggest disgrace. The Bears have fallen. How do you fall further than Matt Nagy? You got to be something kind of fucking special dumb.
Well, you get the shovels out of the shed out back and you dig your own hole, and that's what they're good at, Phil. I find it funny, all these other podcasts and shows, and they're like, have we hit rock bottom? And I'm like, no, this is the Bears. They can go lower. They will dig themselves lower.
We talked about this. Now it's coming out. George, they're trying to pay all their lawyers. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. It's coming out. They should have been fired the day he resigned. Simple. Ryan Paul, all of these guys. I talked with a former Bear himself. He's like, you think they keep Poles? You go, I think they might keep Pole. I think if I was weighing the scale, Shane, you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
I think it's like 70%. Maybe it's less, because Kevin Warren shouldn't give a fuck.
No, he shouldn't. But I mean, if he sits down with Ryan Poles and say, hey, you haven't had the ability to bring in your quarterback yet. And I mean, I know there's a super chat question. We're not getting there yet, but there's a super chat question there essentially pertaining to that. But if I was, so I can address it right now, Drew. Thank you so much for
thank you, Drew,
taking the time for the donation. Yeah. So Shane, what do you think of Peter King going on the score and talking about Poles not being sold on QB1? Same guy who said number one pick was for sale. Guys, people get so fired up about if you're not sold on the guys in the draft.
QB1 right now.
Right now. But if you're not sold on Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson, you can't just draft them because you're drafting number one. That's the thing. I had more of a belief in Justin Fields myself over those guys also. Right now, it's not there.
We all said, Shane, you had to let Justin. There's no excuses for Justin. Now, there's fans out there that make this a racial thing, that you can't be They're ruining. I am the furthest thing. I could give a fuck if Justin Fields was from if he was Sicilian. I can care less. The quarterback, I don't look for anything other than the tape. I want my quarterback to be what he's supposed to be. We all said this is when Justin rises to the occasion.
Right, but
he has not.
This is the point, Phil.
Shattered, Shane.
How many? You could see it. You could see it in his face today. I texted you, Phil.
Oh my God!
You could see he was. I don't want to. Maybe he just felt defeated, and maybe that will motivate him more. I don't know. We'll see. But you could just see it in his face. He didn't want to be there, and whatever it is, what it is. And this is probably the most sustained adversity that he's ever faced in his career as a special and rare athlete. I know he had some adversity going from Georgia to Ohio State, but still, I wouldn't put it on the level of what he's dealing with now. But this is where the rubber meets the road, and we'll see what it is. And if this again, this isn't just a Justin Fields issue. I think most of the issue to me, again, is where we've always been. It is going to start with George McCaskey, but you're not changing that. But Phil's been on it since jump, just like he was with Nagy. It's coaching. It's when you hear Matt Eberflus say the devil is in the details, and we're very detail oriented around here. No, you're not. You're not detail oriented, Flus. You're not. You're a stubborn asshole. That's what you are.
Right.
Because you're married to your philosophy no matter what. When you have a front four that is pedestrian at best right now at getting to the quarterback, you have to do something else.
Yeah.
You have to go away from your scheme and do something. What are you worried about? What are you worried about going down by 40?
He said it today. He's like, "Oh, maybe we need to bring 5. Maybe we need to bring 6." Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
maybe.
Maybe you should be fired. That's what it always comes back to coaching. It always comes back to the philosophy of the franchise above them. I was around them. I let you in on the whole story on this network when I traveled with the Chicago Bears. Yes, I traveled with the Bears, the whole team on the plane with the GM, with the ownership. I literally sat 4 feet from Ted Phillips, and it was difficult to see their pompous nose in the air approach to us. Was a travesty. It wasn't welcoming. It was a travesty. It was going into Dallas game, Shane. That game they lost, they haven't won since.
Right.
They have not won since that game, Shane. And I looked at these guys.
Well, yeah, their last win.
They don't get it.
But
they don't get it, man. And
Cornelius has in there. I watched 4 breakdowns, and every one of them said the problem was not Justin. That means that there was bigger issues in this last game than Justin Fields, and I agree. But you cannot sit here and say that there has not been Justin Fields issues, because there has been. Clearly, like I just said, the bigger issue is the offensive system that Luke Getsy, to Phil's credit, once again, is completely lost. And I don't even want to say that it's rudimentary, because it's just lost. It lacks everything. And that is who you're relying on to make Justin Fields take that next step. Matt Eberflus saying that he's going to be more involved with the offense. You can't coach the defense. You want to get your feet wet in the offensive meetings? What are you talking about?
Shane,
that's why I said, guys, this staff, it is over with this staff. If they think that this team is going to turn it around, led by Matt Eberflus, and everything that's going on, they're going right down the same path that the Titanic was, heading for the iceberg, head on. Same thing.
I want to address Cornelius. The 4 breakdowns you watched that says it's not just. It's like a leaky pipe with 27 holes in it. Well, which hole's the problem? Justin is a part of the problem. He's not the only problem. This is called a semantic
right
thing.
And I wouldn't even call him the biggest problem, but you can't sit here and say that he's
Justin's He's blamed for. He's affected by the. I don't agree with Mike Greenberg, and these people. He ruined it. That's just to get clicks and stuff like that. Justin has to rise to the occasion and make the plays when he had it. And there are plays to be made that he doesn't. We saw it in Tampa. We saw it in Green Bay. Now all of a sudden we're gonna forget.
And there's
No,
plays
that's
out
not
there
what we
that he
do.
did make that DJ Moore
people
dropped, that
drop.
Chase Claypool dropped, that Cole Kmet dropped.
Exactly.
So
And
it's
guess
a
what?
two-way
What is
street.
that, Shane?
Right.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
team fucking game.
Guys, how do
it's
we
a
go
team
from
game.
having literally the first ranked run offense last year? I mean, I know we lost
What did
Montgomery,
I say,
but I mean that
Claudio?
has to be the coaching. I mean, it's not.
Dave,
it
we can't
be the
see
personnel.
David Smith. Sorry, Claudio.
No, that's all right.
I don't know why they got to clean this up. Super chat, David Smith. Kerry Franklin's statement, Shane, was this.
Yeah.
Doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. I just appreciate TTNL. That's all that super chat was for. Thank you, Kerry Franklin. David Smith, do the same thing so we can get your super chat comment here on Keeping It 100. We're talking about the travesty, the embarrassment, the utter, complete embarrassment. Like I'm wearing a Bears hat tonight because it's still raining outside at practice. So let me just wear the Bears hat. They're raining on my parade. I cannot express this enough, Shane. It is the Holy Trinity. I always say the most important free agent is the head coach. Until we get the right, you can supersede stupidity above you. It's hard.
Yeah.
When you have an administration that doesn't support you, that is very difficult to deal with. You can supersede.
I work for the
that.
federal
You still
government.
can
I
win.
do it every day. I supersede stupidity above me.
But if those people above you are hiring the wrong people and they're not prepared, I always look at it like this. Luke Getsy is coached for God knows how. He talks about Missouri and these people, and he hires a guy he doesn't know as his offensive coordinator. That becomes the good old boys network. That is what that is. Here's another fucking shoe salesman calling plays for the Bears when I look at it. So that the head coach hired that guy. We saw, Shane, we saw it. I called it out last year. Give a fuck what Greg Bragg says. Called it out every fucking day.
I'm not smart.
He doesn't even run counter. He doesn't counter anything he runs. You look at in this game, when my tape breaks down, they run a fucking great play, a power concept. Cole Kmet gets fucking absolutely body rocked by a safety on the line of scrimmage. Gets pushed back by a motherfucking safety. A 210-pound safety versus a 260-pound man. He gets bullied, right? So the play gets blown up. The next play, you're in gun. It was there if Cole made his... No. Stay in the formation. Run something else off of it. The only time they repeat anything is with a fucking screen. Let's run this. Well, it looked like it was going to... Let's run it again. And the coach justified it. And everybody in the media let it go, except here. You justified throwing a screen again. Tampa came out and said, we knew they were going to do it again, and they did it. You're the joke. The coach, that's like me. I'm coaching 8 and 9-year-olds. It's the hardest job coaching ever. You can say what you want. You don't know football if you think you can get out there and do that. It's hard. But if you think, here, we ran screen. Oh, the kid dropped it. Let's try it again. No, you don't. Let's give them the same look and run something else. That's good coaching. These guys are so fundamentally not sound. Don't give me excuses on injury. Every NFL team has that shit. As Shane and I have pointed out for fucking 38 years, maybe longer. It's so funny how the backup quarterback for the fucking Cleveland Browns. Oh, the Bears are going against the Browns with their backup. He throws for 330 and 2 touchdowns against the fucking Bears. That's fun.
The thing that gets me, Phil, is you could hear it Flus today, and the pattern with me is when you look at guys like Tressman and you look at guys when they're clearly at the end of their rope, when they start telling you how close-knit the locker room is, that's when you know it's over.
Thank you, Shane.
You should never have to say that.
God.
It should never have to be a question asked by the media. It's something that you see on TV. It's something that you feel on the practice field. It's something that you see in press conferences, that it matters. When QB1 comes out today and you could see the pure devastation and I don't want to be here. That is the mood of your locker room. That is your leader. And I'm not blaming Justin for this. I'm blaming everybody for this. But he's like, I had to laugh when he's like, they're like, what do you do to maintain, positivity with a 13-game losing streak? He's like, their 13-game losing streak. He's like, well, I talked to, I talked to the captains. I talked to the leadership, and you're part of that. You're QB1 in Chicago, and you can see it when you're talking and telling people, this is back to Flus, that you're a close-knit group and everybody's pulling the same way and we're all on the same page and it's all for one and one for all. You're fucking done. You're done. Great
Shane,
week of practice. No, it's an excuse.
Look at this. We had a great leadership council meeting today, Shane. I want you to know that. We sat together.
You needed a leadership council meeting in week 4 of your season.
Leadership council. I go, what is it? The fucking Cub Scouts? We're gonna fucking do the fucking
I didn't hear him say
Pine
that.
Derby or whatever the fuck that is, Shane. Let's go. Look, we made in leadership council. We made these fucking cars, and Justin and I raced them down. It was a great leadership. Get this guy out of here. Oh my God, let's run a couple more screens. I'll sit on the offensive meeting and give them, it's worse than Nagy. It's worse than fucking Nagy. It's so despicable. You can't win with 4 men rushing with one guy that's a pass rusher. Walker is talk. He's a 3 technique. He's not an edge. Oh, we need guys that could set the... You can't rush the passer. Get out of the cover 2. When the cover 2 works, it works because you got 2 guys that can get to the passer and you got a 3 technique that moves the ball. You don't even need to play it. Just look at his fucking face.
Well, right, but just listen. This is the demeanor of this is the demeanor of your locker room right here.
What does that mean to you as one of the captains on this team, and what that means to look like?
I mean, yeah, it's just a mentality. Every day, fight, give your best effort, and put your best foot forward.
Do you sense a determination from the group that to end the losing streak?
Determinated. That's what he was using.
Can you articulate what that looks like?
Eberflus, you ain't my dad.
Yeah, I do.
I'll tell you that.
And it's just been doing what we're doing. Coming in, working hard each and every day, and when the game comes, just focusing on details each and every play.
13 games losing in a row.
Within each and every play.
You think he cares?
Yeah, the body language is bad.
I think he does care 100%. I think Justin Fields does. I think it matters to him. I think, if I'm being honest, I think he's extremely disappointed knowing that he's in year 3. Ownership and leadership of the franchise earmarked what he's surrounded with these coaches, and it's so inept. It's like being gutted live on air.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
He's broken. He's emotionally drained and broken. He needs to get a break. You have to sit this guy right now. Or the ownership has to step in and make a change. The guy calling plays is awful. The head coach is awful. The defensive coordinator is going to be locked up in prison. All of this stuff that the Chicago Bears have been hitting the news wire for are in the vernacular of negativity and losing. And it's a disease when you have, and Kevin Warren, you have to do something about it now. You can't be, well, the McCaskies, I can't do a Chicago accent, but if I could, the McCaskies never fire anybody. You know what I mean?
No,
They're never going to, you can't be never.
Albert Breer alluded to it today, Phil. And like I said, if that
What
stuff
did he
is out
say?
there, he was essentially talking about the Bears mini bye week. Is if they get to that point and this is still going on, you're going to, that's where you're going to see somebody fall on the sword publicly. Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you, Mike Hall. $5. I wish I had Mike
Is
Hall.
he talking
on the
about
show.
fire everybody from the Bears or from Notre Dame? I'm not sure. He didn't put that in this super chat. But thanks,
Bunnery, $10. Thank you, Bunnery. I can't really see. Is that a baby with a leaf on it? It's horrible to hear our coach talking about their team is focusing on fundamentals in week 4. Thank you. Why are we should be focusing on fundamentals in week 1 of preseason, because guess what these guys are? Let me whisper it for Eberflus and company. They're professionals.
Yeah.
They're pros. Imagine if I had a pro athlete that I can coach up and do what I know we should be doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a shame.
And I am not on the same podium that you're on right now, Phil, in terms of saying that Justin needs to be. I'm not there yet with benching him. I'm going to give him every opportunity to fight his way out of this. No, I get it. I
just want to ask you, like today for me, I haven't been watching the presser today. I was like, he's mentally broken right now. He's exhausted emotionally and mentally drained. And
if he is,
maybe he's tired of hearing Eberflus's shit and Getsy's shit. And he's hearing his name out there.
Maybe he saw the game plan and he knows that nothing's changing. That could be
exactly Shane.
That could be it too. That's why I feel like it's him saying, I'm in the NFL. This is what I've worked my entire life for. And I'm surrounded by people that are completely inept. And this is my second coaching staff in 3 seasons in the NFL. That's what I feel like. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not ready to bench the kid. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and let him. I think he's earned the right to try to dig his way out of the quicksand and make some plays.
Right.
There's gonna be time for Tyson Bagent later in the season to come in if this doesn't get better. Where they're
how many games you think that is? Say he doesn't improve in the next 2 games.
Let me ask you this on top of Claudio. Same place, Claudio. I'm sorry, but I think it has to be because I said, Shane, this weekend, even prior to the game, it was like literally 10 minutes. The Bears are the worst coached team in the NFL. And then people
are the worst team in the NFL.
Denver, Denver saying hold their beer. And I'm like, now they're playing Denver, Shane.
Yeah.
And if Justin goes out there, struggles, the offense struggles, and the defense, is Justin starting after the Denver game with the team that gave up 780 something yards of offense? Yes.
And we're home dogs.
Wow.
We're fucking home dogs.
No. I think
a 70 burger put up on it.
I think you're going to be talking about week 10, week 11, week 12 in that range before.
Wow.
I'm
done. Surprised.
Yeah.
If he struggles against Denver, if I'm the head coach, he's out.
But that's the point, Phil. Though
that's hard because of.
But that's the point. He can. we can show you on tape just this past game where DJ Moore's loafing on a route that Justin Fields, if he's running how he's supposed to run, DJ Moore, it's a completion if he doesn't drop it. But he was throttled down. That's not on Justin Fields. He should go up and rip
on a
him.
coach. That's a reflection of the head coach.
That's
right
but we've seen it with Cole Kmet. We've seen it with all of these guys. That's why I'm saying it's people above Justin, and I think the kid is beaten down. Has he been perfect? No, but I'm not pulling the trigger for Tyson Bagent right now. I don't think it's time for that. You have a lot invested in this kid, and you're gonna give him the opportunity to fight through this and to see, what type of man that he is moving forward. He can't let the media and outside pressure overtake him, and I don't think that's what it is. I think he's beaten down about what he's surrounded by coaching wise, because he himself knows how fucking over their head Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy are.
Hold on 1 second. So Fields is in there though, and we all see it, where he is not pulling the trigger. That's not on the coaching. That's on. Now, my question is this: do you think if Tyson Bagent is in on those plays, he pulls the trigger?
I think there's a lot of passes he does. Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I'm
so
with you too.
that to me, like I love Fields. I love him. But
he answered your question. That's why I say.
But I think that there's a lot more beyond that Tyson Bagent may fail with also that, because there's a lot more than just that.
Let me push this to you. Based on what you just said, Justin goes out, major news, every net outlet ran with it.
Logan,
Justin
don't put
says,
words in my mouth. This isn't about Trey Lance. You're trying to prove a point that's not there. This isn't a San Francisco 49ers show. No, because I get pissed when people I'm not saying that.
He's saying
you're telling me
Trey Lance because San Francisco, he's trying to say the Bears shouldn't hold on to anybody.
It's not the same situation. I wouldn't have fucking drafted Trey Lance. And I said that here 1,000,000 times. I wouldn't have drafted him.
Right.
Logan wanted to fucking bring Mitchell Trubisky back. Put that in the fucking chat. Stop. I never fucking said anything like that. Ever.
Let me ask you this.
Let Justin Fields fight through this. This is it, guys. We said this season is it. And we're going to give him 3 games. Let him fight through it. Let him fight through it. And see.
To what you said, back to that. Take Logan's comment. Justin comes out, says he's being overcoached. We all know the presser. You saw it. We're like, wow. Now this dude, I was hoping he'd do that. Now, then 2 hours or whatever later, he backpedals on or whatever, course corrected, as Cherie said, whatever it was. And now this energy at the body language. You talked about Gino Auriemma.
See how
Gino Auriemma with body language. Today, I'm looking at a defeated quarterback at the presser, tired, emotionally drained. And you could very well be correct that he knows what he said originally is still happening and he's tired of it. So that could be his emotional drain. But
I think it's what I said, Phil. I think he knows that Luke Getsy and Matt Eberflus are both in over their head, and he's obviously part of the game plan, and probably not a lot is changing. You don't think, as stubborn as Matt Eberflus is on defense, do you think that they're just going to – I mean, they had to change things last year, Phil, when they were out of contention. That's when they finally flipped the switch on offense with Justin.
Well, here – and this goes to your point and mine, because I always say the coach is the most important. They had the mini bye, and one of the players mentioned it this week. I can't remember. Cap had told me Yeah, we had that mini bye, and then we started doing the things Justin does well. Why aren't we starting the season?
All right, let me
doing
ask
things
you
that
this.
Justin
Let me
does
ask
well?
you this.
Like,
Put
what are
all
we
your
doing?
chips in the put all your
Yeah.
chips in the middle of the table.
Yes.
Who do you have more faith in? Justin Fields or Luke Getsy and Matt Eberflus? Go ahead, tell me.
Justin Fields.
And it's not fucking close. I rest
Right.
my case.
Well, that's a good way to win in court. I'll tell you that. In the Atoshin court, you win. I
If you
totally
bench
agree
Justin
with that.
Fields right now, that means
I'm
you're
worried about
backing
his
up
psyche.
you're back. I'm not worried about his psyche.
He's going to pull out of it.
You have to give him the chance. He's either going to sink or
right.
swim.
You know what?
If
You're
you
right.
bench him next week,
You
this
changed
week,
me, Sheree.
or in
You
2 weeks,
changed me.
then that means
he had an
you are
epiphany.
co-signing an inept head coach and offensive coordinator. Just like when they brought in Jimmy Clausen for Jay Cutler and that nonsense. It's the same fucking thing. This coaching staff is done. There is no coming back from this. Let's just say that Justin doesn't work out. They bring Tyson Bagent in. Guess what? If they finish with the number one pick and they have the number one pick in the draft, do you think that they're going to bypass Caleb Williams if Tyson Bagent goes out there and throws?
You don't bypass
14
Michael
touchdowns?
Jordan. No.
Right, that I'm just saying. It's what it is. You let Justin Fields go out there and do his thing until week 10, week 11, week 12. And then if you're still in that boat,
I don't know if I can go that far.
Long, dude.
That's a long ride.
If that's all losses,
17
you're
games.
talking 20 losses.
I couldn't do
I'm
that.
not saying that it's,
but I think
just
you're
assuming
right.
that they're going to lose every game. He can play mediocre to bad, and they can sneak out a win or two. I'm not even talking wins and losses.
I think you're right for you changed me around. I think you're right because I have to go to the scale. I got to pull the Chris Zorich, Sheree. You better beat Southwest Missouri State if you're Michigan by at least 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, but
you better beat.
So people in the chat are talking.
You're right.
Tua was benched for Fitzpatrick.
Who's the worst? Who's the worst? Shane's
do you see the massive difference when you're talking about a guy that's been in the league for 14 years and played for 11 teams, and then you're benching him for Tyson Bagent?
Right.
There's a massive. It's not even
one-handed gaming. $1.99. He's throwing in two. No. I want my $2.
No, that's the thing. I see no way possible that you can bring in a first-time NFL head coach in this situation.
Again.
To me, it's clear cut. It's a one-man show. If they're gonna go that way, you're gonna be looking to Detroit's offensive coordinator. Obviously, that's going to be a guy that they look at. But I think everything is pointing to Jim Harbaugh in Chicago.
Finally, I'll get my wish.
What about Flores?
If I've been asking for Jim Harbaugh,
you think that they're going to bring in another? Listen, they're not going to bring in another defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, good point.
Again after this.
As long as I don't give a fuck if it's defense or off. I want
no. I know, but I just
Flores is a good question.
I like Flores.
Me too.
I was on the Flores bandwagon before, and he got fucked over. I totally agree. But Phil,
listen, if you bring in a defensive guy, as long as you get an offensive coordinator that can, has a good offensive mind, we need obviously a defensive mind too in there. So,
yeah, it always goes
is a shit show too. So
who are you? That should be the third.
Harbaugh is the best of both worlds.
Harbaugh
he's your head coach. He's a leader. He's gonna not take any bullshit from George McCaskey, and he's a guy that can work with your quarterback every day. And he's got skins on the wall in this league.
Yeah,
and he knows where all the bones are hidden in Hallis Hall because he's been there.
He'll tell Ted Phillips, "You're a cocksucker. Get the fuck out of my face," because I know Jim doesn't like him. And Ted stood in the way of a lot of that shit. They'll say, no. Yes. Verified. Lincoln Riley. No, Bill Wagner, my guy. Luce's presser was so bad you almost felt sorry for him. He'd be great establishing Akron as a force in the MAC. He's worse than Nagy. I love this hashtag, Greg. Go put it on your fucking show. Greg brags. DDP was right. Only thing you got to write at the end of that is what Cherie said. Again. $5.
Yeah, I think
Fuck
everything is pointing to Harbaugh. It's the name. He's got the cachet. Like I said, he's got the history in this league. He's got a history with the franchise.
This guy's taking shots
at
me.
We tried telling everybody about.
We did. Like that would have been my pick over Dexter.
I just don't know how you go. I don't know how you go to the college ranks.
Oh, for a coach.
For a coach, and say, "All right, we're gonna go down this pathway, and just hope for the best." You talk about a gamble and a half. Just because Lincoln Riley had success with Caleb Williams at USC doesn't mean that he's going to come to the NFL and have success with Caleb Williams.
Steed 232 $1.99. Thank you, Steed 232 with the Jordan AVI. JF Justin Fields looks defeated. Sad to see. I agree, man. It's sad to see. Sad to see. GO $5. It looks like none of the players trust each other or the Hits philosophy. They never earned each other's trust to being with. Hard to watch. But the leadership council, GO.
Yeah.
They had a great leadership council. Shane and I were invited. Claudio, someone wants your shirt. What is it? I don't even know what it says.
It's a vaffangulo, which means fuck you in Italian.
There it is.
Jordan, what has changed? Our team president has changed, and I think that is extremely significant. I think that because this next wave that they go through is going to be Kevin Warren's show. And
Kevin has a good relationship with him.
And it's beyond that. It's beyond good. Yeah, it's an excellent and very close relationship.
And that's the kind of bridge that George McCaskey has to jump off and get away from, because if you're the guy that you trust is the president. Now, here's the caveat here to Harbaugh, and I think it needs to talk. I know we're going to have Zack Pearson from Bear Report joining us.
Did you send him?
Can't do his intro, Shane, because
I know.
Yeah, because
I went back and looked, and I was going to text you, and I'm like, "Yep, nope."
No, we got to do it our Claudio's way. Yo, it's Zack Pearson.
Zach, what up?
We always wanted someone like in that Saturday Night Live voice. It's Zack Pearson. No, but here's the caveat here. If Kevin goes to Jim, Jim might not want Ryan Poles in the way. And that's when Ryan Poles goes.
Yeah.
Right.
If that is
the
keeping Jim Harbaugh from here, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you build trust with one another. And I mean, listen, you can't let Ryan Poles be the deciding factor of whether you or not you're getting a head coach at the level of Harbaugh. If you're gonna not have him here because of Ryan Poles, then you're doing it wrong.
Totally.
Pretty simple.
I wanted to see, because we haven't talked about it, but we're on step for step with that. And I apologize that I'm eating dinner on the show. It's been those of you just tuning in, I coach football. So right after work, I go to practice. I practice for 3 hours. Then I hustle home for the show. And literally, right, Cherie, I was here like 1 minute before the show started. Steph ended up getting
Well,
Chinese
Claude
food.
was getting worried.
Listen, yeah, I know. I was like, damn, I gotta do this show on my own. Fuck, it's gonna be a short show.
On my own, pretending.
So you also had
Cherie.
to do your leadership council with your coaches.
It's the
right?
leadership. Oh, there was a leadership council. Look at that look. Imagine with a Bears jersey holding it there. Like, here's the keys. I would. It would be second, Shane, for me to the Super Bowl for the Bears because I've wanted that guy as the head coach. You know that. It was
Phil, when you are trying, you're going to get to the point where you have to have the excitement level back for the Bears of when it seemed like everything was lining up. They went out, they made the move for Justin Fields. It felt great to be a Bears fan. You know, you were getting back on track. You got a young, athletic, signal caller that everybody was excited about. And then the Bears seemingly wasted it almost immediately in his first career start in Cleveland when Matt Nagy's game plan was, all right, go out there and get the shit kicked out of you.
7-step drops.
Yeah.
No chips.
Get sacked 9 times. You bring in Harbaugh, it's a name. It's going to help. Who knows where the stadium, the progress with the stadium is going to be at that point, but it's going to matter. The head coach is going to be a big piece of it because let's be honest, Jim Harbaugh comes here, he's going to be making a hell of a lot more money than Matt Eberflus did.
He is. You know what it is? It takes a special coach to tap in. Mike Tomlin has this too. You tap into the heartbeat of the player and the team. Each guy is come from a different place, different background. The goal has to be the same. The coach's job is to put the eye on the prize. I don't care. You have to let go of your sanity almost. You have to do funny things, make jokes when it's the right time. When you got to read the room, you got to know this. Some guys aren't like that. Like watching Eberflus go to the podium after another loss and make excuses and list the positives. Do you not think that same shit's happening in the locker room? And the players are like putting on their beats and tuning him out? It is. You are who you are. I've tried to tell that to every fucking nerd they're out there. There's people that have taken shots and put words and Shane in my mouth. We have always stood, even when we disagree, for our truths. And one thing's for certain. Eberflus, I said it would take me 3 games to know. I knew in 2. 1. It's like, this guy isn't the guy. Justin's not going to survive this. He isn't. Because he has his own things. He's not a polished player. But is he learning? Is he getting to the... No.
Yeah, is he getting the proper coaching? No.
Is he getting the proper Is he getting... Let's change his right foot. What?
I think that's why he's demoralized, Phil, and I think that's why it came through to... I think that he is a strong-willed individual, and I don't think that the media pressure... Yes, I think he's beaten down because of the situation, and clearly he didn't want to be out there today. But I don't think that aspect of the media responsibilities is overwhelming for him. You could see it with a kid like Mitch Trubisky where he was nervous and fidgety. To me, Justin just looked like he was beat down. He felt like he was pissed off. And I think it's when you go to work and you're working for somebody that you know is inept and that you do not believe in, that's going to beat you down every single day.
Oh, trust me.
When you come home and you're dealing with shit every day, it's a fucking problem. It can ruin things for people, but you have to be a strong individual to push through it and to see the forest through the trees and do what's best for your kids, for your family, for your teammates, and let the bullshit get flushed down the fucking toilet and you move the fuck on. That's where we're at with this team.
Oh, 100% right.
Well said.
This is the only thing I do, because everything you said is right. Here's the one thing I have, and I know I've said it before. There's a problem with Justin, and it comes from a place where you put certain priorities in front of others. And I talked about it with the swag stuff, the vibe, and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a problem. And you know what? It goes to the head coach. Because I'm telling you, I don't care what level, if I'm the NFL head coach and a player comes out with a glazed, reflective gold shield, and he's my quarterback, especially, and he's just throwing in practice, running around, and then he's hustles back in and swaps it out for a clear one. So I'd be like, take that fucking shit off and let's play football, because football is the thing. The swag and all this fucking pretty. Yeah, you look good, you play good. That works for wide receivers. My quarterback, you better be fucking throwing good routes, making good decisions, and having your mind on the fucking outcome that's about to happen. That's that's the one big issue for me with Justin. I don't like that. And I think it would help him, but he doesn't have the right people in his. They're kissing his ass, or it's okay. No, it's not okay. Let's go until everybody turns on him. Then it's not okay. Now he's crushed. So it's up to you. It's like Bill Parcells put Dave Meggett, put Joe Morris, put all these motherfuckers, Mark Bavaro, put them, Lawrence Taylor, put them all in their motherfucking place. Every freaking one of them hated him. And then they understood and learned, and now they love him because he made them better men. No one's doing that for Justin. And that's where this is, that energy, that body language. The coaching is atrocious. It's atrocious in Chicago. It's way worse than Sean Payton's Broncos. Don't throw scores and stats at me. I'll throw fucking 13 in a row at you. The coach can, well, we're focusing on this year. This year, we're 3 games in. That's what a fucking shoe salesman does, Cherie. You know what? You were arrested 6 times in a row. Well, the 4 times I was only 17. Well, the next 2 times you're an adult. Those other one, you're showing the same motherfucking pattern. You're a loser. That's it. That's it. Do you think Justin should be benched for Bagent to see if the QB can run this shit show? At some point, yes.
Yeah, at some point.
If
not
it
now.
goes
Like I
this
said,
way.
If you bench him now, that means you are co-signing Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy as making Justin the scapegoat, and he is less of the concern for me than those two are. And if I was the GM and Phil was the head coach and Phil's like, we got to set this kid down, and I would have that. I would sit down and have that talk with Phil. And that's the fucking problem.
Okay.
Is Ryan Poles' mindset and powerful enough to get up in Flus's face if they have a big disagreement, or to go down to Luke Getsy's office and say, what is the plan here? What is this game plan? You guys seemingly are putting your game plan out in the media to pull the okie doke. Roshan, he deserves more time. We put him in there. 4 carries. Oh, 29-yard run out. Not another carry afterwards. Where does that happen? That happens in Chicago. That does not happen other places. That happens in this
with
place,
Getsy,
because that's who they are.
With Nagy too. You're right. So there has to be an understanding. Like,
is audio freezing for you guys?
Yeah.
I was. Am I freezing right now?
Why do the McCaskies keep hiring coaching? Who doesn't know football? Vernon F. Why does McCaskey's keep hiring coaches, I believe he's saying, who don't know football?
Because
I
they
think they
don't
know football. They say the right thing. They don't know how to be a head coach. That's the problem.
But the McCaskies don't know football. Ted Phillips don't know football. Imagine being a franchise, the founding franchise, and you're the grandson of George Halas.
Exactly.
And you know nothing. I'm just a fan.
We got that drop
They're a
somewhere,
laughing stock.
Sherry.
I look at the Chicago Bears as a sleeping giant, and I think a lot of people
I'm just
know
a
that.
fan. I'm not.
Yeah, they're never going to wake up until they get the proper leadership. You're 104 years into this. There's no reason whatsoever that you're relying on Ernie Accorsi or Bill Polian or any outside firm to get you a head coach. That tells you a lot. A lot.
We've said this.
And that is
I've
the benefit.
said that.
That
Same
is
statement.
the one benefit that I will say with Kevin Warren is he's very well connected all over the place.
I've said that for 8 straight coaching hires, Shane. You're the grandchildren of the guy who created professional football, believed in its merits. George Halas. There is no NFL without him. These guys didn't listen to shit Grandpa said. They were spoiled little fucking brats wanting to go off to soccer camp and play the fucking trombone instead of fucking watching, listening, and learning the game of football. There was no plan. When their dad died, so did the fucking Bears. So did the Bears. I'm talking mugs.
Yeah.
And Virginia can't run this shit. She's still thinking about Sid Luckman's cute ass. That's all fucking doing here.
But, Phil, this is one, and Jeff, you don't even need to include the super chat, dude. We get it. Life happens, and that's way more important. But we appreciate you participating. Can't super chat, blah blah blah. What are your guys' thoughts on Caleb Williams declining the draft because of the Bears being his potential landing spot? I would be very surprised if he did, because I think that you're talking about a massive market that is an absolute fucking, and it's true for Justin Fields also. You turn this around, you become a mythical creature on a Michael Jordan type level, because it's as much as the Bulls won, as much as the Blackhawks have won, and as much as the Bears lose, this is still a Chicago Bears town. And if you are the quarterback of the Chicago Bears,
600 people here in the chat because of our misery.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just, but when you're talking about endorsement deals,
no, you're right.
From a business aspect, that doesn't mean if you turn down Chicago, and I mean, are you going to go to Arizona and play for the Bidwells in a much smaller market? I know a lot of people want to pile on the Bears because of that. I would be absolutely floored if that were the case.
I agree with you. No way does he forego the NFL because of the Bears.
You're never going to make that money back. You're never going to make that money back.
Bears are the sleeping giant. We had our issues and questions about Justin and Getsy, and this is where we are. This is a question for you, Claudio.
I don't think it's a real question, is it?
Yeah. $4.99 from Windy City Twins. Thank you. Question for the barber. Do you think maybe it's Fields' hairstyle that's holding him back and it's time for a change? Any ideas to help this turn around?
I mean, listen, a haircut does change. Yeah, go to funk. He does change your
Cool
demeanor.
Kennedy does have those lyrics, the $500 fade.
The $500 fee.
right?
I charge Justin $500. Of course, he can afford that shit. Look,
That was a great lyric.
I can't wait to hear that. Can't wait to hear it.
Oh my god.
The ones Phil, I know I was doing some other stuff, but the ones that we have answered, just
how do you do that?
On
how
the
do
star?
you
click on the star, on the blue star?
Yeah, you click on
ones
the
that
blue
we
star.
have answered,
once you
and it'll
okay.
remove them.
Starting to learn it.
There's
Starting
one
to
right
learn.
here. You guys are the
You guys
best, bar none. Love you guys. My question is, what do you guys think about the upcoming draft outside of quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta listen. There's still
pass rusher, right?
There's still 14 games left.
Pass rusher would be the number one need outside of quarterback right now.
Yeah, but I mean, up top there's going to be some pretty special offensive linemen
The
available.
left tackle from Penn State, Olu.
Chanu, yeah,
and Marvin Harrison. Obviously, you gotta.
Yeah,
right. I mean, if we can take him, you gotta take him, right?
I can find him other receivers.
You don't think he's special, Phil?
Oh, I think he's special, but I just, again, I don't want to get into the draft. I think it goes back to what I've always said: the holy trinity of football is quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle. The Bears, what do they have? They got no answer right now at quarterback. They have no pass rusher, and they have no left tackle. So the holy trinity of football, the Bears have, they're going to their
that's why
meeting.
It was so. That's why you need to
Leadership
exhaust
council.
every opportunity with Justin Fields to give him every opportunity to turn it around. Because if you, let's just whatever is unlikely as maybe it may seem, if he did turn it around, then you're cooking with gas in the draft, because you can. I mean, are you going pass rusher, left tackle? Are you going? I wouldn't give a shit if the two best players were offensive tackles where I was drafting. Guess what I would be doing? I'd be drafting both of them, and it doesn't matter. Guess what? You guys are two of you are going to fight it out here to be my left tackle, and then the other guy's playing inside. Deal with it.
My boy Jason S 499, my guy. What's up, Jason? Thank you. Any hope that Warren gets rid of Poles and Eberflus? Of course, man. That's what we've been talking about earlier.
There's a chance, and
that's the dream, right?
I gotta think that, but he's talking about firing Poles and Eberflus to make Harbaugh the GM / head coach.
If that's what it takes,
yeah. If that's what it takes, I think it's you can give him more power. And Phil, we've heard it, and it's been out there that this is Jim Harbaugh's unquestioned dream job.
Right.
And if he is as big of a believer in Kevin Warren as we have heard also, and if Warren was a believer in Ryan Poles, is Jim Harbaugh going to drop the hammer and say, nope, I'm not going to take my dream job because the guy that you're telling me that you believe in, I don't. We'll see how it plays out. I just don't think that would be you can make him very happy and give him a lot of I'm saying
keeping Poles.
If I would be I would be pretty surprised myself if Harbaugh said no, he's got to go. I'm willing to stay here, obviously with Kevin Warren. But I think that he would be given a lot of power, and Ryan Poles would still be the GM. And I could be completely wrong. I think this coaching staff is going to be launched into the sun, and I think Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles will be here. I know Kevin Warren's going to be, but I think Ryan Poles will be here, and they will set a new direction that includes Jim Harbaugh.
That's
what I feel like.
I think Harbaugh is a wild card when it comes to Poles. Now, we answered the question. I think we both, just to get it back on the record for my guy, if Harbaugh said, no, I don't want him, you're still going with Harbaugh, right? If he says, I want Poles, go.
No, I said that earlier. If that was a deciding factor, I'm not going.
I'm not losing the coach.
No,
for
over the
right,
general manager.
okay.
Nope.
That's it. So if he
No,
is
because if that's the point, then I would say, all right, Jim, this is your dream job. We want to give you everything that you need, and I don't want you to be burdened with this and this and this and all the
well,
draft
he might
prep
have his own guy
and all of
at
this.
GM.
Who do you want, and who
Right,
do you want to
that
work with in that position? Yeah, that's where you would go. I just don't. I don't love the thought of GM head coach when it's going to be such a massive, especially if you have the number one pick and I'm relying on Jim Harbaugh to turn this franchise around, and he's going to be tied to a name like Caleb Williams. That's your number one, number two, and number three priority. I don't need my general manager worrying about trying out a punter, in 4 days because, Trent Gill popped a hammy. You know what I mean? Just I don't know.
I think I understand what if Jim wants his GM there, I give him whatever he wants. He
Oh,
wants to
no. That's
work
what I'm
with us.
saying. I think that's what it would probably come down to. I just don't love the fact of Jim Harbaugh saying, I'm the general manager. I'm the head coach.
Yeah. If there's somebody I would trust him with that if he wanted that. But I would offer him, listen, do you want to put somebody in that position that you checks and balance? It's always good to have someone at your side that you might not agree with that can check and balance yin and yang. That's like me and Shane. Like, I don't get upset.
Belichick,
Because
you might want to go check out Bill Belichick's draft history, Timothy, because it's I would say spotty at best.
Well, speaking of that, though, I mean, looking
Any
at
part of
polls,
this salvageable?
polls
Oh, go
picks.
ahead, Claude.
No, I was just saying, I was wanting to bring this up. Now that we have a whole year with polls draft class, not last year's draft class, the Brisker, that draft class. I mean, not many of them seem like they're hits, right?
Yeah, I mean you can't. You got to give them more. Let's not forget we're in week 4 of year 2 for those guys. I mean, there's things there that I have problems with. Kyler Gordon,
don't get him going on Brisker.
Yeah, I mean, Jaquan just needs to worry about staying on the football field and being a productive football player. And when you're down 40-0, not wagging your finger at
the
wide
Kembe
receiver.
Mutombo.
Yeah.
Over there. Any part of this you think is salvageable?
Yeah, I said, it's not looking great right now. It's not looking great right now, but if you get the right head coach in here, Phil, it can make a big difference.
Absolutely. There's pieces on the roster. We can do a show and go over the roster. We talked about doing that and like yay and then naying it, but I think the right head coach does make the difference here. That's why Shane turned me around because I was ready to bench Justin. But you got to get the answer now, and you have negligence at the coaching.
And somebody had a good question about this. Look at this. What's the biggest impact? Hiring Harbaugh or forcing the McCaskey to sell?
How do you force somebody to sell their team?
I mean, I think he's just saying.
Even if I had to say that, I would say Harbaugh because the head coach is that important, and he's not afraid to tell George and the McCaskies where to go.
And that they haven't had that. They haven't had a guy like Jim Harbaugh that's not afraid to pull his khakis up, walk upstairs, and say, "George."
Because they don't want a guy like that.
Stay.
They don't want to bring him.
But now Kevin Warren's there, and that's where we're putting.
My thing is, so many people said, "Yes, we understand. We want the McCaskies to sell the team, but it's how do you do that
when they're on the precipice of tripling their money?"
Exactly. Nothing is happening until the stadium deal is in, and like you said, they're gonna go from $6 billion to $11 billion, and then maybe you can get there that they're gonna sell it. But it's it's beyond a pipe dream right now. They're not going to sell before their max value of their franchise is attained with a new stadium. It's not even smart business. It's really, really dumb business.
Pulling it all back. The McCaskies, obviously, Bill, or I forget who's asked that. They are a huge issue. I'm trying to get somebody that doesn't know football running a football organization is a problem. Trust me. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So do you think this has any?
Just real quick, this Ryan Cox just sent me this. Jim Harbaugh's buyout at Michigan is only going to be 1.5 million, which is going to be that's nothing.
It's like
right now,
signing-
currently, the Chicago Bears are paying Danny Trevathan $3.8 million this
What?
year.
We're still paying Danny Trevathan
Because Ryan Pace put voidable years when you this is where when people like Draft Dr. Phil say fuck a cap, that shit is fake. This is when it's not fake.
How much? Well, how much are we paying him?
3.8 million because he had 4 voidable years added on the back end of a 3-year contract. So technically, it was a 7-year contract that they gave Danny Trevathan.
I still believe in don't fuck a cap, but
yes,
you have to fucking have a good.
It works.
You sign good players.
It works.
It was old when he got that, right?
Well, they
remember we were questioning it.
They chose Trevathan over
him.
Kwiatkowski.
Yeah, exactly. I go, okay, they're going the leadership route.
These
you
are
and
the
I
things
wanted
that
Pierre Louis back.
wish we had that pace drop where he's like peeking out from the. I would put that up right now.
Oh my god!
You're like, oh shit, I did that.
He actually did great today for someone who knows his bosses are idiots. You have to play him to be sure because of the invest. That's where Shane is right. He said that. That's what turned me around. His bosses are idiots. So it's hard to get a big picture. Bill Wagner, $5.
You can't say that you believe in, or you don't believe in Matt Eberflus or Luke Getsy, and then you're going to make Justin Fields fall on. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're not coaching Justin Fields and calling the right plays, right? And that's all going to change when Tyson Bagent gets in there. Yeah, he may rip the ball a couple more times to a wide open receiver that Justin isn't. But is the other 94% of the game going to be any different?
Yeah, it's not going to change. No pass rush. I mean, we're still
Well, it's not going to change no pass rush. It's not going to.
Yeah.
Do they still call the double screen pass in Tampa if Tyson Bagent's in there? We'll see.
Oh, Maron.
Sad.
This season is so sad.
Well, that's the problem.
Kenny Andrews.
Just real quick before we.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kenny. But this is the thing that the Bears fans, myself included, are so beaten down at this point. You feel upset because there's still 14 games left. That's where we're at. That's how bad it is. That's the culture that this. Listen, when you say you're building the culture, you can't say the fans don't fucking matter. No, we're a part of this. We're a part of the culture. That's why when we go to the fucking game and they're booing in week 1, Jaquan, because the culture that's out there sucks. You guys aren't bought into hits. The coaches aren't bought in to the details like they're telling you. They're not. None of them are. You built a shitty culture and you want to blame it on the fans for booing. We've been here a lot longer than Matt Eberflus. We've been here a lot longer than Jaquan Brisker, and we're going to be here a lot longer than either one of them are moving forward. Also, we're not going anywhere.
You're right.
We know what it's like to be beat down.
Let me say this. On top of that, I want to shout out patron Tom Boson, who also made it a point to tell me that The McCaskies, you can stop buying swag, Bears stuff, Bears tickets. They'll be okay. What the McCaskies hate the most is being on television and seeing the fans boo the organization. So guess what? You better be ready to do this Sunday. As Tom Boson is pointing it out, you need to stay. If they're playing, obviously, you need to boo this fucking team.
Yeah, don't boo.
Taunt
Just to
Brisker.
Boo. If they're winning, don't boo.
Yeah.
Or if
Obviously,
they're playing well, don't boo.
I
But
mean,
that's
if
the
they're
thing.
playing shitty, you gotta
Right.
let them know
Still on
and
Twitter,
let the coach. You're tired of it. What
there's
the
a
fuck
guy
else
on
do you have?
There was a guy on Twitter saying, he goes, I'm having a really tough time picking between these two inept teams, the Bears and the Broncos, who's going to win. So I tweeted him back. I'm like, to me, it's easy. You choose the less inept team, the more relevant team. And it's clearly Denver. And then I put hashtag Denver by 17.
Oh, you
Listen,
got 17.
They just got beat by 50. Yeah. And Vegas is picking them over. They're favored in Chicago.
What does that say?
And that's coaching. That's coaching. That's on the coach.
Sure.
They're saying Sean Payton is going to get the team ready more than Flus is going to get the Bears ready.
You don't think they're going to come here to fucking play?
Damn right.
Let's play that clip of this. Can you zoom in on this, Cherie?
Open it.
Like hit that. Yeah, there you go. This is courtesy of the Denver Broncos. You have to
need
play
a banner for that, or
look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. You guys are on top of it.
You know, we had our opportunities offensively early, 2 penalties, take touchdowns off the board. And I don't know that, I think they punted 1 time. So any questions?
When you have a loss, I mean, losing's hard in the NFL, no matter what's hard on you, but what do you tell a team?
Well, look, it'd be one thing to say, hey, we're going to get on to the next game, but we have to watch that tape, and so tomorrow will be tough for a lot of players, tough for us too as coaches. So,
see, honesty. Wow.
Listen, we knew we were playing a real good offense, but we got to look closely at what we were doing, and when someone runs the ball up and down the field like those guys did, and throw it up and down the field, it's not acceptable. We can't.
Blues would be saying it. Edmonds made a great tackle in the third quarter.
Third quarter, he really came up.
We got that field goal.
Listen, this season's full of those type of moments, and
look at this. This is
one
the
obviously
difference, man.
Difficult to be sitting here 0-3.
As bad as they
guys.
played,
there'll be more.
I know that you said it's embarrassing, but this is kind of an historic game.
I'm aware.
Third time the team scored 70 points over 7.
What's the question?
What's
the
watch this
question?
part.
I love it.
I just finished telling you.
Yeah.
Next question.
Nice.
That's all I want to
Love
fucking
it.
see out of. There's
How
pride.
How much is the bounty that he's putting on our players? That would be my question. Hey, Sean, how much is
Now,
the
if you put up Eberflus's post-game presser, you'll see the complete 180 opposite. And it's like, you're going to get beat sometime. You're not going to win them all. No one does. Trust me. No one does. Nick Saban was close, winning everything, but nobody does it. So did you question Claudio watching that as a fan, that the coach was upset?
Oh, no. Yeah. You can see in his tone of voice and his mannerisms, he wanted to say more. He wanted to get more pissed, but he held it back because he's a professional. But those players are fucking hearing it. He said those players on the tape are going to hear it. You know what I mean? So obviously
He's
there's
not even
players
skipping
that he knows.
that. We're watching this motherfucking tape 100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? To me, watching him, Jane, it was like, I cannot wait to get to practice to fix this fucking shit.
Yeah.
And the Bears are going to lose by 20 or more. I'm telling you.
We should put up the clip of Sean Payton a few months ago saying, there's going to be any team in the NFL that lays down for a quarterback, it's going to be for this Williams kid out of USC. He said that.
He said that. Shit?
Oh, yes, he did say that. Yeah, he goes.
Oh
He goes,
my
if there's a quarterback that's
kid
going to
is the
draft the
deal.
lottery system in the NFL, it's going to be Caleb Williams. Yeah, Sean Payton talked about that. Which, listen, they're not. He's invested, and you could see the frustration and the pain on his face. But that's the difference. When I see that there's a difference between being professional and being emotionless.
Yes, Shane.
Because when it's emotionless,
there has to,
I'm just
It's
not.
all
I'm
on
not
that
built that way to sit there with a stoic face the entire time, because I feel like if you're doing that, is everybody really being held accountable behind the scenes? Because
let me ask you
if
this.
you're into the details, then
Right.
Jaquan Brisker is getting fucking fined for me, and I'm gonna call him out for being down by 40 for wagging his fucking hand, wagging his finger.
Doubt.
You look.
Shane, I would, as a coach, I would have walked down the fucking field.
Would have been
and said,
out of the
"Get
game
the
right
fuck
there.
out of the game.
I'm
Get
losing by
out of the
40
game."
with you in the game.
Yeah,
I can lose by 40 with you sitting over here.
Exactly. I
Go
totally
sit in
agree.
the medical tent. You've been there
This-
every week.
Think about this. Seriously, I'm thinking about this as I look at Sean Payton. Your defensive coordinator fucked up. You decided not to address it. You pretended you don't know it. And these players are supposed to admire you, listen to you, when you can't even control this team and this game, your words, the philosophy of what you can't find your identity. You're going back to the basics. You're looking for answers where there's none because you are the problem. You, the head coach. Real quick, before we get to our guest, he's enjoying the spread we laid out for him in the green room. You could see
Taking
Shane.
his Drake May jersey off right now because he doesn't want to show favoritism over there.
That will be a question, I'm sure. It's too early to pull the plug on Fields. Getsy and Flus need to be fired, though. It's been so bad all around. Any optimism? Not much from me.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about it. You gotta
much love, y'all.
Yeah. No, appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Kenny
Phil, just
Andrews.
address this one right here before we bring in our.
Which
my
one?
bad. This
Real
one right
quick. Real quick. Here we go. Danger W 1999. DDP, I became a patron member, but I can't find your all 22 defensive breakdown. I can only find the offense. Help me. Love you guys. I wish you guys did a daily show. Well, I hope to do a daily show with the advent of the super chat, Shane. I could retire my job, just do shows on the fucking negligence of the Bears. But thank you, Danger W. I do the defensive breakdowns with my dad on X's with the O's. That is usually a Saturday show on our patron channel. We go live literally there, breaking down the defensive side. Offensive breakdown, that should be out tomorrow, later afternoon. I had to take a mental break from watching the offensive tape and cutting. I seriously, and I'm dealing with some football. My own team, we're 3-0. We're getting ready for our first home game, big game this Sunday. So I've been dealing with a lot of that. So I promise, Danger W, check out that show. There's one up there. We had to skip the last one. There was a family issue. So thank you for the question. And if you have any more, DM me. You don't have to ask that and pay for that. Literally. But anyway, I'm excited, Shane. He's enjoyed the shrimp, the lobster tail, the sirloin tips.
His new intro wasn't out of the microwave yet.
We could bring him in. Ready?
We have to do all of the new intros.
Yeah.
Let me get some music. I could try to wing one off the top
Wing
of my
it.
head.
Freestyle. Let's go.
What's this? Cool Kennedy.
Come on. Show Harry Mack how it's done.
Curls, curls, curls instrumental. Should we bring that back for Matt Nagy?
Trying to kick.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from the Bear Report. You see him at Hallis Hall talking to George in the hallways. I'm not talking about anybody from across the pond. I'm talking about George McCaskey. Let's bring out our guest. You know him from the Bear Report. Bears beat writer for Bear Report. Try to say that 10 times fast. He's our friend of the show, Zack Pearson.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
I was gonna say I remember the Curls music video. Well, not music video, but a song and all that
video.
Good stuff.
We did a video too. Everything.
I think you could come up with probably 5 or 6.
Screens is the remix.
Yeah, maybe incorporate one where 2 wide receivers are running the same route, which is happening once a game at least.
What do we call that though?
I don't know. That one's got to be a little more creative. A little more creative.
You can
Route
call it Getseed.
Yeah. There you go. There's a good one.
Cool Kennedy.
Man.
We need to work on that beat. I challenged him with a Claudio Cut It Out song. He's already finished it up. It's knocked it out of the park. But that's got to be next week. But anyway,
Zach,
what's up?
Man, just how did we get here, man? I mean,
oh my God, Zach.
This is it's been it's been an interesting 3 weeks. I didn't think this offense was very good in training camp and in mini camp and all that stuff. I didn't think they were this bad. I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I think, man, I've been saying it all along. I've had friends, people ask me all the time, what is going on at Hallis Hall, especially last Wednesday. That was one of the craziest days I've ever been a part of.
You and I were texting back and forth, and I'm like, bro, what's and you're like, it's bad, man.
That was a weird day because I usually, I get there in time, I get in, get some work done, and for whatever reason, I got there a little late. I was like, I gotta stop and get some lunch. I was like, I don't want to miss Fields. I have a weird feeling something's gonna happen. Didn't get lunch, went into Fields. Thank God I went in there because, he mentions coaching, pretty much invites us into his mind on what's going on in year 3. And then I go leave for lunch, and that's when you texted me, and I was kind of like, something feels really odd around this. You started seeing stuff on Twitter, and you're like, man, you just I got no work done because I was just constantly trying to talk to people, trying to do stuff. And then Fields goes to the locker room, or actually get in the locker room, and PR's like, we're going to huddle you guys up. We got something to say. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And he goes,
that's how it went down?
You were literally right there on his shoulder, too.
Yes. Well, I thought that was going to be what was circling around Twitter.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was actually, they were like, Fields wants to talk to you guys. Then he has to retract his statement and all that stuff. And then the whole Alan Williams stuff.
Real quick.
Real quick.
The PR comes to all of you and says, hey, Justin has some. How do they do that? How do they let you know? How do they do that?
As you're walking in the locker room, normally people are kind of spread out. They're trying to talk to players.
Certain players. Everybody's open for business type of feeling now?
Whoever's in the locker room. A lot of guys stay a little extra after practice. A lot of guys are showering. A lot of guys have to lift. They have to kind of get stuff done. So usually you're kind of just spread out. This time it was probably like 10 to 12 of us kind of right when you walk in, and the PR is like, we just, Justin wants to say something. And then, people, I don't know if players were finding out about the whole Twitter stuff that was going around with Alan Williams in that moment. There were players on their phones. There usually is players on their phones. There's players kind of grouped together. It was just kind of a weird vibe. Like no one knew what to say. Like, do you ask the players about this because it's like fresh to everyone? Like it could just be Twitter rumors. It was a weird day. But going back to what you said, Shane, like I tell everyone this, I think it starts from the absolute top. This has been a disaster of a franchise, a mess of a franchise. I grew up watching this team. You guys have been fans of this team forever. You guys do your show on this. I'm there. It's like we all have a part of it. And I just think how they run things and operate, how you treat people, how you treat fans, how you're so secretive with stuff. that it starts, man. It's like there's no like consistency with this franchise, and like it's funny because like you say, like we used to rag on the Lions. I mean, the Bears would just everyone rag on the Lions. We're turning into the Bears. Literally, I think Field said the Lions started 1-6 last year. That to me was just mind blowing. Like now we're trying to go down. I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but like
those games were close, Justin.
Yes,
the Detroit's games were close. You're getting fucking boat raced every week,
and they didn't even make the
34-0
playoffs.
at a half, Justin. Come on.
Yes, and they didn't even make the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
like
right.
And I think when you look at it, like the Lions have a leader. They have a guy who a lot of people ragged on. Oh, he's a meathead. That dude cares, man. That dude would not let that happen here. Let what's going on happen here. But yeah, for me, man, it starts at the top. And you guys hear me complain. You guys have fans that complain. How they operate training camp is ridiculous to me. I'll use the example this year. Welcome back to football, where the NFL promotes it. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, but so obviously the NFL promotes a welcome back to football training camp thing. They want fans in. They want everyone to come in and see the team. And Matt Eberflus walks over to the stands, on the field closest to the stands, and is like, thank you, everyone. We'd love to have you guys out here. Welcome back to football. We're gearing up for a big year. And then he takes his team to the other field where there's no fans and you can't see it. And we're just like,
oh my God.
But that's normal. Like that is normal. Season ticket holder day, they were practicing on the two fields closest to the building. They practice on the field closest to the building with the fans on the other field in the stands. They pay a lot of money for season tickets.
Yeah.
It's just it's everything.
Zach, I told the story when I was with the Bears and we had this special VIP meet and greet. We had an agenda, and I traveled with the Bears. I've told the story before. And it starts off.
This was just this past season to the
Dallas right?
Dallas game, yeah. So we arrive. You got to arrive at Hallis Hall by 8:30. At 9:30, it's a special VIP meet and greet. Do you know what the VIP meet and greet was? Nobody showed.
Oh,
nobody showed.
No player, nothing.
No player, nobody. And these, I'm a guest there. These people paid a lot of money for this. So they're like, what? Then we're in a Hallis film room or something. I forget the name of the room. Hallis something. On the TV, there's no ability to change the channel. It was a fucking soccer game.
Oh my God.
That was it. And then they had the players warming up before they went on the bus. They're outside warming up. And these special people weren't allowed to open the blinds to look out onto that field to see them. No, you can't. You can't look out that window. They should be on the field. What are we giving Dallas secrets when we get there? You know what? The Bears were. It's a disgrace. I said it before. Kevin Warren needs to change it. You're right. It starts at top. Shit like that is disgrace. Welcome to football. We'll see you later. We're gonna practice over there. We'll be back later.
Do you want me to change my earbuds out?
I think that's what's causing the echo.
Yeah, it keeps echoing back. My guy Zack Pearson.
But yeah, Phil, that's when you talked about.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Okay, hold on. I don't think I can hear you guys. I don't know why this is a MacBook.
It's all right.
Yeah, we can deal with it.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah, put them back in, and we'll just deal with it. It's fine. You got us now?
Is it echoing now?
Yeah, it's not right now.
It's not right now. Are you DMing?
That's who's typing at the press conferences. Is that you typing at the
That's what you do.
Who is doing that, Zach? Oh, you can't hear it.
I can hear Claudio. I can't hear anyone else.
You can't hear us?
Huh.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know.
You can hear me, but you can't hear them.
I cannot hear them, no.
We should apologize to him for that. That's got to be off.
This is so weird.
The Claudio show.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I can hear.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear Phil. Yeah, I can hear both of you guys.
Can you hear me?
Come back in.
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these headphones.
We were gonna just run with you and Claudio for a couple hours.
That is not me tip-typing at those press conferences, but I do hear.
No.
Do you know who it? Do you know who that is or what that is? I mean, it's like loud.
It might be
near the mic.
Yeah, it might be TV people, like because the mic is actually, believe it or not, the mic is more in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We believe it.
Makes a lot of sense, but yeah, Phil, that doesn't. What you said doesn't shock me. It's just like I said, guys. It's like how you. It's the top to bottom, how you treat people, how you do things, and I unfortunately, it's not going to change. I mean, I will say this. This is the last time we've talked, obviously the whole Kevin Warren stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with next to see what's changed.
He has made progress in changing things. The biggest one, and I hate to complain about it because people get on me all the time, the food at halftime is so much better, and I'm so appreciative of it. Like, I get it. Like, I get free food. But, man, like, I'm telling you guys, it's like cold hot dogs, cold meatball subs.
Yeah,
like,
that's pathetic. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Should never be that way.
Should never be that way.
No, and it's like, this is one of the craziest things they did a couple of years ago was they served like chili cheese nachos in a press box to a bunch of grown men, and it's like, I mean, if you guys know how digestive systems work, I mean, it's probably not a great idea to do. So no, I mean, like, and then you go to like Kansas City, it's just like top notch, like everything's top notch.
Yeah.
Like, the pregame. Yeah. So I mean, it is improving though. Like, I do think Kevin Warren, he is making to his promise where he's trying to talk to everyone in that building. So, I do think we'll get, as the years go on, it'll get there.
So, Zach, let me ask you this. I brought this up with Phil, and Phil was, he was kind of on the wavelength of, you got to sit Justin down, put Bajan in there to see, who he is and what he is. And I'm not there yet because I don't believe in Matt Eberflus as a head coach. I don't believe in Luke Getsy as an offensive coordinator. And if you set Justin Fields down right now, to me, you're co-signing with the head coach and the offensive coordinator for making Justin Fields the scapegoat. Where is your thought? I guess what I'm trying to say is if you had to put all your money on the table out of those, if you say Justin versus the head coach and offensive coordinator, who are you more concerned with?
Man, I would think it's probably the offensive coordinator and the head coach. I think Fields is talented. Like, I think the talent's there. I'm not ready to give up on him. I do think there are some concerning issues with his game.
Totally.
I am not, like I said, I'll watch tape and go through it. I am by no means a quarterback expert, football expert, shocker. But, I mean, I see a quarterback that's like, he doesn't throw the ball when there's open guys. He's missing open guys. He's not reading the field. I also see a scheme that, does not look like it's working for him. And I also see a head coach and offensive coordinator that probably, he said it. They told him stay in the pocket more. And I don't know if the words exactly came out their mouth that said you're not allowed to run, stop running. But I think they've been coaching him like, hey, like, let's be a better passer instead of a runner. And I don't think the offensive lines helped him. I don't think some of the receivers or tight ends have helped him too much. I don't think he's helped himself. So I think it's just a mixture of everything. But I do think, like, if I would be more concerned with things, I think it's the two. I think it's a coordinator and head coach. And I'd say that because I think you can expand that out to, like, you're seeing what's going on with the defense and you're seeing what's going on with everything. It's almost like I don't want to say a lost cause because there's still 14 weeks left, but
14,
yeah, not good.
It's a long season with this meltdown. When you get to the podium and you hear him, and this is the head coach, when you hear him after another loss start listing off the positives first to start, is it infuriating to you, or is it just par for the course with this guy and it's just a joke inside the media at this point?
I think it's par for the course for the last 10, 12 years of coaches. I mean, it's the same stuff. It's just like, we're not going to get into injuries during the off season. We're not going to get into this during the regular season. It's, we're still looking at this, we got to look at ourselves and fix things and this. Like, no, why is Tremaine Edmonds struggling at tackling? Why is this going on? Why is this happening? Why is all this stuff? What's going on with this player? And instead, it's you become numb to it. It's like we have a joke. Me and a couple of guys. It's like I don't even think they know what day to day or week to week or out for the season is, and they've shown that multiple times. I think it was who was it that had surgery last year? Is it Whitehair or Patrick that had surgery? And they're like, yeah, he's week to week, and the next thing you know is surgery on his foot and he can't walk, or his leg is amputated, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? It's still day to day. I'm like,
rub some dirt on it. He'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he'll be good. He disappeared. He's gone somewhere. Who knows where this guy? But it's just you're numb to it. It's like, especially after the games, like. You get the choice. You get to stay in the locker room and you get to hear the head coach talk. Essentially, I mean, you could do both if you're quick enough. I like talking to the players because I think it's more raw, more emotion. Especially, like Jaquan Brisker's really good to talk to. Just because it's just like all emotion with him. It's just he knows. Like Eddie Jackson's been fantastic. The head coach, I usually just kind of skip out on it, to be honest. There's nothing against Flus totally. I just think you just get more value talking to, DeMarcus Walker about why they can't get a pass rush or something like that. But yeah, I mean, when you're there Wednesdays, Fridays, Mondays, it's just kind of become numb. It's the same, like, I don't know, Phil, would you say it's coach speak? I don't even know if it's that. I mean,
it becomes lies. It's beyond coach speak. It's ignorance. What's that word? It's that uppity, I'm better than you. I don't have. It's what you're saying. The whole culture is from the top down.
Well, like what you said. It's, hey, we're so glad the fans are here, but fuck you. We'll be on 3 fields over. But it's essentially the same way that they handle the pressers. And they're shitting on the media and the fans at the same time. And it's just like, if they were winning, we could all stomach it and deal with it. But they're the worst team in the NFL, Zach.
Yeah.
They're the worst team in the NFL. And I don't think it's close. I mean, you have a team that just lost by 50. And they're coming to your house and they're favored.
Yeah. And the home team usually gets 3 points.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're really favored by 5.
Yeah. That was honestly, I didn't see much of that Denver game, but yeah, that was when I saw probably third quarter in Kansas City. Oh, the lines have come out and there was 2.5 to start. I'm like, oh boy, yeah, this is not good. And
and we just played a little bit of Sean Payton talking after the game where the absolute, I mean, night and day difference between him and Eberflus, where you could see he was pissed, but he was trying to maintain some semblance of professionalism. And Eberflus in that same position would be like, Tremaine Edmonds made a hell of a tackle midway through the third quarter. And, who gives a shit? You're down by 40.
Yeah, I was waiting after the Chiefs game for him to come in and be like, oh, good evening. We outscored the Chiefs 10-7 in the second half. And
Did I say that? Did I say that, Phil?
We have 2 interceptions. I want you to know.
Yeah, we picked off Blaine Gabbert twice, and we're building.
Yeah. We had 2 interceptions against the Chiefs. They leave out who they got them.
Yeah, who it is, what the score was, what the situation was. It's like, if Mahomes would have stayed in. Whew.
You're right, though. That's a problem. That's not a real coach. That's not a guy that gets respect in the locker room. The players aren't dumb. They understand it. They understand.
And I think,
right back, Shane.
When you preach what he preaches, like with the hits, I think a lot of people bought into that early, and I think rightfully so. I mean, we should have, and the players should have. And, everything I know, Eberflus is a player's guy, but when you're not winning, that stuff does not matter in a hurry. It does not. It's how many times can you do this until you're like, okay.
Exactly. And that's what I said to lead off this show. You have to be a special kind of inept to lose 13 games in a row in the NFL.
God.
And I know it's a different team, Zach, but it's the same coaching staff, it's the same quarterback. There's still some of the same players here. And they're not just getting beat, they're getting handled. What is it now? It's all of these losses are like what?
25?
Yeah,
points
plus 20, right? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just they're so inept. And I know you're in a different position because you're in the media, but I see no way in hell that Kevin Warren can look at this and say, we got to bring these guys back. Give them. If I was a betting man, I think that he'll give Poles the leash to get another coach, to pick another quarterback if that's where they go. Because Zach, I look back and this is the Bears, and so how inept they bring in John Fox, they force Jay Cutler on him. I'm not going to say that Mitch was forced on Matt Nagy because Matt Nagy took the job, but still, you know what I mean? And they did it again with Justin Fields. Oh, we're gonna keep it. So if you're drafting number one, and I don't know if I know you're a UNC guy, but it doesn't matter if you're
Caleb for me,
right? So let's just say that the Bears finish and have the first pick in the draft. You can't turn this kid over to Matt Eberflus again, man. You cannot do it.
No, and I think you're right. Like, I think barring like some crazy, there's 14 games left, like they go like 12-2, which is not going to happen. Exactly. I think it's going to be a whole new coaching staff. I think you'll give Poles one more year. You'll let him, he'll have, if it's going down the same road, he'll have 2 top 5 picks, potentially 2 top 3 picks.
Yeah.
I think you give him that because I think, you're at 1, you pick Caleb Williams. I think that's a no-brainer. That's an easy call to make.
Yeah.
You trust Poles to pick whoever's at 3 or 4, and I think it's going to be a good draft. You can get a left tackle. You can get an edge. You can get an absolute franchise player, 2 if you hit on the quarterback. But, yeah, you just can't. You can't – if you go Caleb Williams, Drake May, whoever, you can't give them to this coaching staff at all.
No, it's – there's nothing there. I mean, they have no track record. I forget who it was saying, it might have been Lawrence Holmes, saying if these guys were on trial and they were trying to save their job, where is their evidence showing them that they should stay? There's nothing there at all.
Yeah.
And
they should be better with the money they spent, the draft picks they spent, and they're somehow worse than last year so far. And it's just, I don't know. I think I heard that too. Lawrence is right. Like, what do you do? Like, if you were to have all these people in a room, what are they going to do? I think the coaching staff would throw Ryan Poles under the bus. Ryan Poles would throw the coaching staff under the bus. Like, I think there's a better case for Ryan Poles just because you've kind of seen some of that. I think draft picks, they'll be fine. I think Darnell Wright will be pretty good. He's had a good 3 games in my eyes. Like I said, I'm not a talent evaluator, so
no, but he's, and that's the problem. They see Chris Jones beat him, and 80% of the fan base is like, he sucks. Well, it's not true. It's not the way that it works at all. Chris Jones was pretty fucking good.
After the game, I asked Darnell that, before he left. I was the only one to talk to him. I asked him, flat out, I was like, how was that like your welcome to the NFL moment? And he had a laugh. He's like, yeah, he goes, that guy, he's really, really good. He's good. And he told me, he's like, my goal is I'm going to take this film and I want to be able to block guys like that easily. Yeah. And,
he's been blocking DeMarcus Walker all camp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this is a guy, he played in the SEC. He's played against hell of edge. Will Anderson, guys like that. And, Chris Jones is an all-pro. And I thought, I'll tell you that I think he had a couple reps where he was beat pretty easily. That's going to happen. But I think Wright played a pretty solid game. And to hear him say that, that's my goal. I want to be able to block a guy like that easily. And You know, he was talking about like how, like, you know, he's like, I didn't even know because his hands are so quick. Like he's here. And like, it was fascinating stuff. But like, you know, with Poles, I think, I do think he'll be around. I think you got to give him at least another year. You're going to have a lot of money to spend. You'll have the 2 draft picks. And, you know, and also like we can look, I mean, the book's not closed on Tyreek Stevenson. The book's not closed on Tyler Scott, any of that, Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens. Like, yeah, sure, they're not like flashing and they're like not all pros or you know, all rookie team guys yet, but like there's still 14 games. Like, look at Kyler Gordon last year, man. That week 2, he gave up 11 receptions, and going against the Vikings, he gave up like 10 receptions.
And he's probably your best player in camp.
Exactly.
Camp this summer. Yeah.
And the last like 8 or 9 games last year, he was pretty good. You know, when they keep him in one spot and stop, you know, flip-flopping this stuff all around. I never understood that either. But yeah, it's just, man, these 14 games are going to be, I hope they're not rough. For the love of God, I hope they're not rough.
My confidence level is not very high. That's for sure.
Zach, no, I just had a quick question for Zach. What's up, man?
Yeah. What's up?
So last year, obviously, you were in the locker room during that losing streak. I know it's only been 3-game losing streak, but what's the difference right now? The feeling, is there a difference? And
I think it's hard to say just because like you're looking at it's like through 3 weeks right now. So it's like I don't think guys have given up or anything like that. I will say I forgot who said it during training camp. Someone, it might have been Eddie Jackson. Someone said like, yeah, last year the vibe, we had a bunch of guys that were kind of ready to get on their way out. And I kind of felt that too. Like saw some of the veterans that were only here for a year. Like, man, I forgot who
it was Justin Jones said that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and he's right. And like,
yeah,
I forgot who it was. Who's the safety? Tashawn Gibson. He told us a couple of years ago, it was like week 15, the Bears were totally out of it. And he said, yeah, this is about the time where guys ship their stuff and their cars back home because they know it's over. And you kind of got that vibe last year, week 10, 11. This year, I don't get that vibe just yet. And like talking to like the leaders, man, like Eddie and Jalen and Justin Jones, who hasn't played well, but he's a veteran. Yannick when he talks, and DeMarcus Walker, Cole Kmet. It doesn't seem like they're like checked out yet. It kind of seems like they're searching for answers. Like it's like a mission to search for answers. So yeah, I don't think the vibe is at that just yet.
Yeah. What about Mooney? Because Mooney is the big leader in the locker room. I know Justin said that he's the guy that he goes to talk to. He's real good, close with him. So how's his demeanor been? And
he's always happy. That guy's always walking around with a smile. That's fine. He's honestly one of like the coolest. Like he's a really nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I've talked to him. I was in the scrum 2 weeks ago or the week before. I wasn't this past week, but no, he seems upbeat and like he's a guy. He's not getting a lot of targets or receptions.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's not showing the frustration. And DJ Moore is showing a little bit.
Yeah, no, not like that at all.
Yeah,
no.
So Phil and I are, and I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but as a Bears fan, you're usually talking about the draft when October comes around, sadly, but I don't see any way that Kevin Warren or even Ryan Poles can go down the pathway of a first-time head coach again, if that's where they go. And to me, Zach, and I don't know how you feel about it, to me, there's one guy.
Do you want me to guess?
You probably know who it is. Go ahead.
Is it Harbaugh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I just think I think there's so much at play here. I think he's got the connection. I mean, he can be a guy that can coach your quarterback. He's got the presence as a head coach. And I also think he's got the ability to know where the fucking bones in Hallis Hall are. And I think he's got the cachet and the power to go up to George and say, shut the fuck up. You sit up here and I'll fix things down here.
Yeah.
And he's got the Big Ten connection with Kevin Warren. I just don't know any other direction that they can go, Zach, that makes sense. And again, they're gonna have to bring in a guy when you are as moribund as this franchise is. I sent out a tweet last week that if I'm Arlington Heights, I'm calling Tony Stark to build a protective bubble over Arlington Heights to keep the Bears out.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to. You were with us when they drafted Justin Fields. The pure elation and excitement. You're so far removed from that. You get Caleb? You give yourself a Caleb with. You get the number 1 pick, and you have Harbaugh connected to that. Then you're there again. Then the stadium deal, all of that stuff into one. I don't who else could possibly move the meter that way? That's realistic.
Yeah, you'd have to you'd have to trade draft picks for Sean McVay or someone. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying, and it's just it's anything like that is just wildly unrealistic because then you're taking yourself out of the quarterback game if that's where you are. And it just, I know people don't want to throw away 14 games and I'm really not trying to, but I just don't see. I know there was people in the chat saying, well, if you bring in Caleb Williams, it's got to be Lincoln Riley. You can't do that.
Nah,
it's just to me it's Harbaugh, and if he says I don't want to work with Ryan Poles, then you launch Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
To me it's that easy.
Yeah, so because Harbaugh always comes up when the Bears have the coaching search, and naturally so. I was never on that train. Now I'm like, why not? What do you have to lose? What, you do the same thing in 3 to 4 years? Like,
right.
Chances are
don't
you hire
you think
first
that he's not here for a reason that's not football related because he's been around? You know what I mean? It's like the Arians.
Yeah.
It's like the Arians things. He wanted to come in and fuck you, Ted. Jay, you're gone.
Yeah.
This is the blueprint that I want. We're going to change everything. And listen, Phil said it. The McCaskies, they don't like to get their ass kicked on national TV. They don't like to get beat by the Packers. The fans were booing in week 1. Jaquan Brisker had an issue with it.
Yeah.
And it's just, where does this change? You draft Caleb Williams number 1 and turn him over to Eberflus and this staff, it's over before it starts.
Yeah. I think you got to go. I think if you go the first time head coach route, I know we've done it before. I think it has to be offense. I just think it has.
I said the same thing.
If you're drafting the quarterback and you go with the first timer, if you don't go with the first timer, you got to get someone that's got some sort of foundation in the NFL, that's been a head coach, that knows what he's doing, that knows a historic this is a historic franchise that's getting embarrassed year after year. You get 2018, which is fun, and then it's the next year. It's like, okay, here we go again. You need the foundation. And like I told you, Shane, I was never on the Harbaugh stuff. Now I'm like, why not? Like, it's worth a shot.
It has to be Harbaugh.
Yeah, I don't think there's because when we and Shane were talking about this, what else moves the needle? You're not trading draft picks for a coach. That's just not going to be realistic for the Bears. There's really nothing else. I don't see any surprise names becoming available. You're not going to get a Mike Tomlin.
The guy, I mean, Tomlin could be a trade, to your point. I don't know if they would ever let go of him, but there was smoke. So where there's smoke, there's some fire, right?
Yep.
But I would be willing, I said, to part ways with draft capital for Tomlin because he's exactly one of the menu items.
The problem is if you're in the quarterback game,
it depends on his offensive coordinating plan. That would be, you'd have to talk to him in that regard.
Don't bring Matt
same
Canada
with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn.
Exactly.
Dan
Quinn
but somebody
that's not moving the meter at all.
I'm I'm
Let
not
me ask
worried
you
about
guys
me.
this.
I know Harbaugh is the. Listen, I've been saying Harbaugh, Zach, since Stanford. Before he went to Stanford, that's before Lovey. I wanted Harbaugh, even when he never had any NFL experience. I just know a good coach. He is a great coach. You could say whatever it is. As
Buyouts 1.5 million. Ryan Cox sent us I think 1.5. And they're
$2. Thank you. He's
they're
maniacal.
And they're paying Danny Trevathan $3.8 million this year, Zach. Danny Trevathan.
Oh man, he wants to be the DC. He said, tweeted that he wanted to be the DC. He was joking. But let me ask you guys this: say Harbaugh ponders it. He's like, I want to stay at Michigan, which it's a realistic option. Who is the one? If they do go first timer, who are the? I mean, how do you feel, Kellen Moore? How do you feel? Is it
Definitely
Ben Johnson in?
I think Ben Johnson would be a guy that they definitely look into. I do. I mentioned him
because I do think Kellen Moore's name will be very, very.
He's not a leader
prominent.
of men. I could see
that's the biggest thing for me. And Bill has been pounding this table. Even people want to fall into the line of offense versus defense. Now, it's got to be a guy that can command the fuck. You can't go to Matt Nagy or to Matt Eberflus where I had to laugh today, Zach, with Flus is like, yeah, I'm gonna be more involved in the offensive side of the ball. I'm like, motherfucker, you can't coach the defense. We want you over there. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, fix that side first, please.
Right. Please. Figure out how about a blitz, Matt? Don't stay true to your front four that can't get there. I mean,
and the scheme you run relies on the front four getting pressure, and you can't even do that. And you don't blitz. It's a mess.
Playing DeMarcus Walker outside, and he's not an outside guy.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace.
Yeah, they just. I don't know, and that's the other thing too. It's like, he already has responsibility of the defense now. Like, you want more on your plate, like with the off. Like, I know the offense has not done much, but like,
it's a shit show with Allen Williams. That's kind of getting swept under the rug. They're trying to hide that bullshit.
Yeah, that was kind of a timely report on Sunday.
Oh my god! And then today, the ESPN's obviously McAfee stated that they raided his house. Now ESPN has reported they've requested his computer and some other, obviously. And I think the Bears got away. I'll say this: the Bears manipulated wording, saying raid versus asked for.
Yeah, there's two different things.
Yeah,
Exactly. Oh, and they're gonna parse every single word. I mean, that's one thing that Hallis Hall is good at.
Yeah,
exactly. They understand Have you ever watched the show Suits?
I have not, but it's actually on my list to start. I actually got to do that.
Both of you should watch it. It's great. But it's like, if you do watch it and you're in the chat, you know what I'm referencing. It's like hiring Harvey Specter. He will clean up and close. So he covers the shit up legally, puts you in a corner. Now you can't say or do what it is you want, or he's got you in a bind if you do go that. And that's what the Bears seem to do. They got great lawyers. And that's the problem. They play with politics when it comes to their, playing. So they'll hold on to a draft pick too long. They'll play a guy they overpaid when a younger guy is probably better option. And that's a problem. They do politics over performance, where we talk about performance over politics. Let me ask you this. You're there at camp, and Shane course corrected me, because I see what he is actually right. When I sat back and thought about it, if you bench Justin now,
when you were gone, Zach and I talked about it. If you're benching him now, you're co-signing Eberflus and Getty.
Eberflus and Getty aren't the problem. So if you were to ask me straight up, Phil, who do you think's the problem? It's Getsy and Eberflus number 1, and Getsy obviously is 2, and Alan Williams would have been in that list, and he is a problem. He's a distraction and a chaotic situation there. So they're playing in chaos, trying to talk about their leadership council. Anyway, your thoughts on Bayesian when you saw him out there and how he handled himself. Obviously, it was clear in the scrimmages for us that, I haven't seen a guy like that in a long time in a Bears uniform, throwing with timing, anticipation, accuracy. You could see his footwork. There's a level of confidence.
It didn't look too big for him. And I understand it was preseason, but he was a guy, and it's like I said, we're live for every pick of the draft. He was a guy that I was beating the table for the Bears to take during the draft because there's some warts there and there's things that you need to work on, but you can clearly see the upside. You can clearly see that he's been coached his entire life to be a quarterback. And the Bears, Zach, you've been around this forever. I mean, it's like the third QB. It's like, oh, we'll go get Peterman. We'll go get Steve Stenstrom. We'll go get, these guys. And it, to me, it's always made sense to have a guy with upside that there's really no pressure on, that you can have there. And then they did it this year. And on top of it, the kid showed promise. I mean, I can remember you guys remember when they signed Chris Leak out of Florida as a UDFA? And people are like,
Dave
holy
wants
shit.
that.
And it's just
Dave wants that.
And I'm not saying that he's going to come in here and save the franchise, but other teams can do it. Why can't the Bears? That's what I don't get.
It starts from the top, I think, man.
Yeah,
it's a trickle effect. And I mean, he didn't look like in training camp, even rookie camp, any OTAs, he didn't look like overwhelmed. He kind of had like that confidence. Whereas you're watching like PJ Walker, I mean, like in my notebooks, I report every day. It was overthrows, not accurate. Nice throw, PJ Walker, overthrow. It was just, it wasn't there consistently good. Whereas like Bayesian was kind of just starting to kind of creep up. Like, okay, he's got something. He's going to pass Peterman probably. And then it was by the end of the first preseason year game, you're kind of like, okay, this kid can pass PJ Walker. I liked what I saw from him. And like you said, I don't think he's going to come in and like save the franchise or anything like that right now. I am curious though how they're operating, how they think, and them putting him at number 3 as like the emergency rule quarterback is to me, it's like maybe they think he's not ready, but do we trust that? I don't know. I don't know.
That's the thing. That's what they're saying. My only thing is we don't know
the story.
I don't know what's going on, in the classrooms and stuff like that. Is he showing a propensity to not pick things up? But my point is, we've seen what Nathan Peterman.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and I mean, it's just my fear is, Zach, we get to week. I feel like if we get to week 10, 11, 12, Justin's still where he's at right now, and they're like, all right, we got to sit you down. If they go to fucking Nathan Peterman, I'm going to lose my fucking
they
mind.
shouldn't. No, there's no chance they should.
But that's my fear. Yeah. And that would be.
Well, that would be fireable and negligent.
Would it shock you?
No, it wouldn't shock me. That's my point.
Yeah.
It would shock me because it's so fucking dumb.
But that's that's how they do business. Now, Albert Breer said today, he's giving them these to the mini buy where he thinks that.
When's the mini buy? What is that?
What?
It's after the.
Do they have 2?
Is it after the
Washington?
Washington?
They must play a Thursday night game. Is that why?
Yeah, I think it's after. Is it after the Washington game?
10 days.
Washington is next Thursday, right?
So there it is. So
yeah, that would be the mini buy. He thinks if they don't show anything versus Denver and then they don't show anything versus Washington, Albert Breer said he feels like that's where somebody falls on the sword.
Kevin Warren can't come in here and say the things and come with the reputation that he's going to interview all these cuts are going to, and people are still around.
So
You
just
can't
off
do
of
it.
that, and this is something that we talked about, Zach. So if let's just say Kevin Warren's like, fuck this, the head coach is gone. And I know it's quick and unbear-like.
Yeah.
You can't turn this over to Luke Getsy.
That's what I want to talk about.
To me, there's only one guy on the entire staff, and that's Hightower.
Yeah, I don't think they turn him over. I don't even think they turn it over to him. Like, I don't know if he wants that.
Yeah, who would it be?
I think that's the problem. I was talking to someone because I get texts during the game all the time from friends and family, and they're like, "You got to fire him right now." And I'm like, I don't think he's going to last the year or last into next year. I think he'll last the year. They'll fire him. That's just number one. That's how they do things. They've always done it. They'll fire him at the end of the year. Who takes over? Like, I don't think you're giving it to Getsy. You don't have a defensive coordinator. You don't have anyone who. I mean, I have to go back and look.
What's the defensive back coach that came back? He was with the Bears. Hoke.
John Hoke.
Hoke. Yeah, I don't. But
could give it to him.
They just don't have great options. Like they don't. I don't think Hightower would take. I don't know. I mean, obviously, probably take it if it's a chance, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like the problem.
He does have a good personality. Hightower.
That's a good question. Hightower is what we call him.
Jericho.
No, I mean, I don't know how you turn it over to anybody on offense.
No,
my reasoning was you're a special teams coach. You're coaching players on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
and he's been a guy that's been around the league. He came from a winning organization in San Francisco, and it's kind of like the tallest midget at that point. I understand it, but how the hell do you tell your fan base? Yeah, we're gonna launch Eberflus into the sun and turn it over to. Well, he was the head coach at the Senior Bowl, so I mean, come on, there's no way.
And would you want? I mean, if they're losing, at some point you're gonna want them to tank and just be like, you know what, let this regime ride out and get it over with. But like, I don't know. I guess in terms of Breer, though, it's like falling on the sword. I'm guessing it'd have to be Getsy. I mean, I don't think they're going to bench Fields. I think he's still got till week 12, 13-ish.
I said the same thing, Zach. I think you're talking, and then at that point, you're giving Bajent a handful of games to show that he belongs next year.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not been good for Fields at all. It's not been good for the offense. It's a lot of things that are going wrong, but like, I mean, there is maybe the slim chance that Ryan Poles thinks, okay, like Fields can still be the guy, but like that's going to take like, I mean, he's got to show up. He's got to like, I don't see it either. I don't think it's
one of these missing receivers, and that's the problem. Jeremy Anastasi, Harbaugh is a wild card. He beats to his own drum, and I can't imagine the McCaskey's giving him what it would take financially or control. Well, you're going to have to imagine it because what you've been doing hasn't worked once.
But I don't think Kevin Warren takes this job if he doesn't have the assurances that
you're right.
What I want, I get on the football side.
Yeah.
That
because, I mean, there was
scenario.
I can remember when the Kevin Warren thing was a rumor, and Weeder and David Haw went on their show and were laughing at it. They're like, "There's no way he would leave his gig to come to Chicago, and you're going to have to pay him." Well, they did it.
Yeah,
they did it.
You know, they did it, and
David Schlickler. He's willing to pay me and you, Shane.
I'll do it.
I'll be the head coach.
Would we be worse? We could lose. We could lose 13
I
in a
would
row.
not lose.
Just
I would
open the
not
media,
lose.
open the media access just a little more. For
Oh my
us.
god!
I would
How does-
totally open it. How could you
Zach, if
not?
that happens, how
believe
does
that I
lunch
wouldn't?
with Pearson sound? At
Hey,
ChicagoBears.com.
I don't want to take Larry's spot. Larry's been super nice to me, so
Oh, if I get hired as GM, he's getting fucking launched. I'll tell you right now.
Larry's been super nice to me, so I can't say anything about him.
Problem.
Larry
You don't
on
need
here.
nice.
I would if I was the head coach, I'd be like, you first, go ahead. And they asked me, and I'd answer truthfully. And I'd be lunch with Larry. What the fuck do you want?
But see, here's the thing. You guys also wouldn't have like all these like this this nuclear code that they apparently have that they just won't tell anyone anything.
First thing I would remove. I'd be like, listen, these
Well, that's the
fans
thing.
love this team. You tap into that.
The most
and you
proud
show
that
it.
I ever was of Matt Nagy was there was one presser, and I'm sure we covered it here, was who's the guy that says two more questions. And it
Yeah.
happens to every presser. Whoever that is that yells that out. There was one presser with Matt Nagy goes, I'm good. I got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that.
Getsy's pretty good with that. They'll do it to Getsy too. He'll be like, yeah, I can handle a couple more. Like it's fine. But I mean,
I fucking hate that guy.
But is that just like
What
the
does he
lead
have?
PR guy
Does
that's
he-
yelling that out?
it's different PR people.
Oh, so it's never the
How
same.
do they decide how many questions? What is there? A fucking
Is it all based
stopwatch?
on time, or is it
Yeah,
like you have
it's,
7 questions?
I think it's time. Yeah, it's all based on time. Yeah, but it's not like.
Oh my god!
But it's
What?
not like you. It's not like okay, like I go in tomorrow. Okay, we only have 5 minutes with Luke Getsy. I don't know if it's like based on their meeting. I don't know that. I just know they probably have a time set for them.
Doesn't everybody like when you get the Pat Finley? I have those same sneakers in my closet, Coach. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? It always drives us fucking.
It was the Aaron Rodgers question.
Oh
that
yeah,
drove
yeah.
us
To Luke
insane.
Getsy after everything happens, he's like,
just
what-
lost.
Oh, 2
what's
weeks
your-
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think on Aaron Rodgers? And I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my
Dude,
god, that's
please
what you're
stop
leading
that.
with, motherfucker.
Yeah.
We've been waiting all. They lose. Now we're
It's,
talking about Aaron.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the timing is like I don't think it's a set because like when we transcribe, like I've done 17, 18 minutes. I've done 6, 7 minutes. But yeah, no.
I
know what
think
you guys are talking
I'm
about.
guessing the head coach is like, listen, pull me out of here in 10 minutes.
I
want-
imagine that's probably
That's what's going on, and I
Yeah.
think it's a travesty.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
get up
guessing
there.
that's
Get up there. You're prepared for 30 minutes. I think that's way long enough.
Yeah.
And then if the questions cease, you just bounce. But if you're,
the
this is a
problem is-
losing culture,
Here's
Shane, and
the
he's
problem.
going to
Here's
listen.
here's
Give me
the
8
problem
minutes.
where
I
they
gotta
don't
go.
understand this, and Zach will appreciate
Go ahead.
this because he's there every day. They're creating more questions by being secretive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where you wouldn't have to be up there for a half an hour if you would just speak. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you have to tell like here's our draft board. I'm
No,
not saying that
no,
shit.
exactly.
But they create so much more drama that doesn't need to be festering there by the way that they run their business.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me crazy.
and they don't put by doing that, they don't put the players in great
Right.
position either.
They
Like
don't.
they don't because it's there's times players have revealed injuries for other players, and it doesn't
Right.
it does not put them in a good spot. But I agree. Like, tell me what's wrong with Jaquan Brisker. You don't have to say, whatever, he's going on IR or anything like that. Tell me, okay, he's got a leg injury. He's probably gonna be out a couple weeks. Don't tell me he's day to day and he misses 3.5 weeks of practice. Like that's not. I'm not a doctor. That's not day to day. I'm sorry. That's not day to day at all.
And
So
it's disheartening because you have a job to do and you're lying to the fans. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with Tevin Jenkins. Fucking nobody knew Braxton Jones was hurt.
The old double
All of a
calf
sudden he's
injury.
on IR.
Like, what?
Oh,
yeah,
Tevin Jenkins double calf. How about the fucking
Braxton one was weird.
Braxton was weird. These guys are shrouded in secrecy like they're the fucking
So did you hear-
Assassin's Creed over
Did you
here.
hear what?
Like, what are we doing?
Did you hear what the Jenkins injury?
No.
How it happened?
No. Was he on a bike?
No.
No.
Roller skates?
So what we were told, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to.
Tell me.
They didn't play in Indy.
Yep.
Eberflus still wanted the guys that didn't play to get in their a conditioning test.
Oh, I believe it.
And that's when Tevin got hurt.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, it doesn't shock me. It because it's weird because it's like, okay, they practiced Thursday. He talked Thursday. If he's hurt,
yes.
If he's hurt, he does not talk.
No, exactly.
He does not talk at all. So I'm thinking, like, if something had to have happened between now, like, did he pull a Sammy Sosa, like sneezed, getting out of bed? Something happened.
I'm like, so you're the double calf is. I'm like, was he lifting weights? Where was it?
The double screen, the double calf.
We were told that it was a conditioning test.
Yeah.
That they were still required, and it was mandated by Eberflus, and that's when he got hurt.
I mean, it doesn't shock me. They got busted for practices last year for tackling.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Yeah. I think it should go back to the old ways. I think they should be tackled, but like the rules are the rules now. You're going to get busted, and he did it again. They did it again with like an NFLPA person there. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's not that hard. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's you got to have
lock up. They can't even lock up their fucking lawnmowers. Zach.
Yeah, whatever's going on with that. That was like icing on the cake for that whole week.
They got
right.
that.
I don't know. The craziest thing is, the craziest thing is that Wednesday, the left tackle goes on out. Your starting left tackle goes on IR, and it's the fifth or sixth.
The whole fucking day was demolishing.
It was like the fifth or sixth biggest story of the week. Any other week, we'd be talking about Braxton Jones right now if it was nothing else was going on.
Well, Zach, it was like when I was on my way to my son's soccer game and I texted you, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And you're like, I don't even know. He's like, it's so weird. He's like, nobody knows here.
Yeah, no one knows
what the hell's going on. And then after you and I texted, it just kept on getting worse.
Yeah. I've been there for some weird days. I'd say the weirdest one before that, though, you guys have probably heard this. I know a bunch of Beat reporters have tweeted this out. There was a time in 2018, 2019, I want to say it was the Miami game. The Bears were coming off a loss, and they hosted like a party at Hallis Hall, and they had sushi, and they dumped the sushi in the media room, and no one changed the garbage. So when everyone came in Monday, it stunk like sushi. That was a weird day. The Thanksgiving, where the report came out about Nagy, like he's fired if he doesn't win, and they did not make him available that day. And Bill Lazor had to come out and answer questions. Was like the most bizarre thing to me. I've been there, like assistant coaches knowing it's over in the Nagy era. But this was like, what the hell is going? Like, you were just waiting for the next domino to like just.
I guess my thing is like where I'm just I can't believe we're here at week 4.
Yeah.
That there can be questions and legit concerns, but it is over for this coaching staff. There's like you said, unless they win 12 out of their next 14, Zach, there's no way it's over.
Like I said, I mean, in training camp, OTAs, I did not think the offense looked good. I told you guys, I've never played football. I'll admit I've never coached. I think I know that 7-on-7, the ball probably should not hit the ground because there's no pass rush. Yeah. And when the ball's hitting the ground consistently and we report it and like everyone's like, oh, you're just being negative, report the good. I'm like, there was no good.
Yeah.
There's no pass rush. And granted, he had good days. Fields had good days. Receivers had good days. But when the pads came on, man, the day the pads came on, the defense is like, all right, it's us. And the defense was really good. And what does that say now? Because the defense looks bad. But I think like we should go back and look. Like there was they pretty much told us. Fields told us in a presser, we need more energy from this offense. We need the offense to talk trash. Even after that, like in training camp, you see the defense score a touchdown. The entire defense is running out there celebrating. See, offensive player make a nice play for a touchdown. It's like one or two receivers running down there, Fields running down there. No one's yelling. I mean, defensive assistants or defensive assistant coaches are yelling on the sideline and trash talking. DBs are getting in faces. The defensive line is talking. 11 out of 11. I don't know if anyone in this chat was at training camp, anything, or anyone you guys knew was at training camp. There was times, I forgot which assistant it was. There was assistants standing on the field. There was DeMarcus Walker standing on the field when it was the second stringers going on, and he was barking at the offense. Maybe one or two guys from the offense actually did that. One of those guys I noticed was Avante Collins, a backup offensive lineman, who realistically, I mean, and that he was out there barking, yelling. He was pretty much the only one. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of it is in between plays, like Tevin Jenkins probably in between plays and stuff, or during plays. But, man, that should have told us right there.
Talk. No bark, big bark, no bite for that.
Yeah.
Let me knock out some of these super chats, guy. Pac-Man, we can't see your comments, so send another one, and Claudia will pick it up. Pac-Man, waka waka waka, $1.99 there. I loved Pac-Man when it first came out. Michelle K, $4.99. Harbaugh is the dream hire. I hope so. Flus is like Tressman flashback. She's right. Love the show, guys. I learned so much from you guys.
I think it's almost worse than.
It is.
I think it's 100% worse than Tressman. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but Michelle,
Zach, you're like an hour. You're like an hour, and you've been super gracious with your time. But before we let you go, I just want to touch on this one more thing. I'm sure you saw it. Josh Lucas has made the rounds, and he said something that I never really thought about, because the entire offseason was about, this is the offseason of Justin Fields and them giving him everything that he needs. And Lucas made the comment, they upgraded, but they didn't bend over backwards to give him everything. So to me, that means there's a lot of gray area when it comes to Poles and Cunningham in their belief in the quarterback moving forward as their guy, because they didn't bring him in. And I know this fires people up. And there was a tweet just from a random guy, and I'm like, wow, this is actually, I never thought about it from this perspective. He said, do you think that there's been a mandate from Poles to say, we don't want him running. We want you to force him to stay in the pocket, because we know moving forward, that's what's going to make us the best football team, and that's what's going to make us a winning franchise if we're going to pay this kid.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's that crazy of a thought?
No, but we'll never know, because Ryan Poles will never say.
Oh, no, they'll never say that. But
I don't think that's crazy, because like you said, I mean, like, I love Fields. What he did last year was awesome. Historically, that does not hold up. You're not going to be running for that long for your entire career. I don't care how good. Right. I don't know, man. I'm like, it's hard, because I do think, like, I don't want to take anything away from him. I do think you have to be a good passer to win in this league. I mean, that kind of sounds duh, but
you have to be able to play off platform like Justin has shown too. But you have to have consistency in the pocket.
Yes. When Cole Kmet is open over the middle, you have to rip that football. When the running back is on a wheel route, that
seam route,
that Roshan. Yeah. I mean, he sat back there for 5 seconds. Like, if he can't see that, like, and people argue with me, well, that's not how the play was designed. That's not, someone's in the wrong spot. I don't care if someone's in the wrong spot. If you cannot see that.
No, it's not anybody in the wrong. It was a flood concept where they wheel him through into the seam, tight end, and then they flood it, which caused he's wide open. To your point, you're 100% right.
And I think the play this week, like, I honestly don't think Fields was like, this wasn't his worst game by far.
No. I would agree there. Yeah. And That's the, and I know we sound like we're being really hard on Justin, but there's so much blame to go around. But he's not number 1 or number 2 on my list.
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm the same. I think I think all three of us are pretty much in the same boat with that because, I mean, we watched, poor Jakari Carter got whooped on that one play, and like it's gonna happen. But that's not Justin's fault. But there's a play where Carter gets beat, Justin kind of rolls out, and Chase. Claypool's probably got a step or two. I mean, that's might get picked, but that's a ball I want to see Justin throw down the field. If not, there's the same play. DJ Moore is wide open, standing there on the sideline. Fields runs it, gets hit by 3 guys. It's a loss or maybe a gain of 1. Like, rip the ball, man. Like, I got to see some throws. And
he doesn't. He kind of. It's
stop with this, Jesus. I mean, yes, there can be missed throws by every quarterback, but not. It's been a consistent issue.
Yes.
In Chicago.
And when it's become a consistent, that's the truth. That's the key ingredient here. If it's consistently happening, then it's a problem. It's like you got to change the oil. If you continue to see the engine smoking,
and this the
T3 at this point.
T3P is saying, bruh, Poles said he's behind JF1. What are we even talking about?
What did you even say?
Do
the
you
vice president says he's behind the president. What are you gonna say?
Right.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to come out and say, no, we're not fans. Yeah. They believed in Justin Fields to some point. They had the number 1 pick in the draft. We understand it, but guess what? They weren't sold enough on Bryce Young, on Anthony Richardson, or on CJ Stroud being the guys that they didn't think that they were going to be better than Justin. Clearly, it doesn't mean that they're going to build with Justin moving forward. That's not how, when we're saying we want people to be honest, they're going to say shit like that up on a podium when it comes to the draft. Yeah. So, I mean,
trust me, Ryan Poles is talking to his boys saying, I don't know, man. I'm stuck here. I want the kid to do good. There's moments that it's too inconsistent. I think he's even said it, that he's got to be more consistent. I've said this, Zach, and I'll say it again. As a coach, when you start going and designing runs for your quarterback, then you don't have a quarterback. You have a running back. So now, if you're trying to force him to stay in the pocket, you're taking away a part of his toolbox that he has. What they did was embrace what Justin does well and do your offense around that. I could fix this, and it would have to be what San Francisco, power run, get under center, action off it, boot off it. These things we see one play, it'll go for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1, and they're in the gun, and they're running read option. And Justin, this has been his worst year of running read option and watching the end and giving when he should have pulled it. He hasn't done it very well so far, obviously, in year, 3? Year 2 of this offense. It's tough, man, because there's so many layers. But I'm with you guys. I think you said it, Zach, and Shane did. We're all the biggest issue is the head coach and the offensive coordinator. And maybe even trumping that would be the McCaskies and what it is they do and how they do it. And we only have this glimmer of hope with Kevin Warren's presence there, that he will say enough is enough. This coach, this getting a unproven head coach or being cheap with a head coach, you have to get someone in here that's going to really change, not talk about it, be about it. I showed Sean Payton to the fans because when I was watching it, that's what I want. That's what I would say. You're going to get beat in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you've gotten beat 13 times and you lead off with how good your special teams were and how great you were in the third quarter, you had a great drive, you're just a fraud. You're a magician with sleight of hand, just with football terms. It's wrong. And it's frustrating for all of these fans, and they deserve better, and they should. If the Bears are playing bad, boo them. That needs to happen on Sunday. George hates it. Good. You want to fuck with George? If these guys, if they play great, then great. I don't predict them to win.
I don't.
When we let you go, do you have a prediction?
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos because I'm taking the better coach in this one. And I know Sean Payton struggled, but Sean Payton has a resume and a track record. I'm taking the Broncos. What is it at 3.5 now or 3? So,
Yeah, moved a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it started at 2, and I know it
started at 2.
Pushed up,
2, yeah. I'd probably take the Broncos. I got to see it, man. I got to see it for the Bears.
What have you seen from Chicago that, I mean,
nothing.
Inconsistent,
yeah. I think it's gonna be I think the Broncos are gonna win. I mean, I think we could be, what is it? They could be 0-5, 0-6 coming up. Maybe at best 1-5, 1-6.
Jordan loves hitting open guys on 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, and 3rd and 18. You don't think Russell Wilson can do that?
Oh man, it's just like
wide open guys.
Man, it's just.
Have you seen this many broken coverages in open? I mean, it's 3rd and 5th. We have guys just walking wide open. There was one that got called back because of the offensive. You know what I'm saying? He's just, what was it? Scanlon wide open.
The one in Kansas City got called back. I think I was in the press box. I think I was closer to him than any Bears defender was out there. I was like, there is no way that there's no one like 30 yards within this guy. And man, he walked in and he put the ball right on the goal line and said, "Here you go, come." Yeah.
Oh my God, people forget about that play because they finally called the offensive tackle.
Yeah, the same one that was getting away with it in week 1.
Yeah. They obviously made it a point.
Yeah.
God, it could have been even worse than it was with that.
Mahomes stayed in too.
That's true. Yeah. That's true too. I'm surprised Nagy called off the dogs.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think he's calling the dogs off. Yeah, Andy Reid, but
34-0.
So so if it's not Caleb, where are you with your UNC boy?
Where are you picking them though? Is this number 1? Is this?
Well, if you're in the, I think he's going number 2.
I do too.
Oh yeah.
I think the only way he's not going 2 is if someone whoever has 2 has a quarterback and they don't want to trade, which is not realistic.
Yeah.
I like May, man. I think, and not even a homer, I think these two, like whoever gets Williams is going to be really happy. Whoever gets May is going to be like, all right, yep, we got Drake May. We will take that. I don't know. I don't want to make like the compare. I don't think I'm not saying Williams will be Mahomes. I think he's got like that kind of like swagger, that play. I think May is kind of like Justin Herbert a little bit, Carson Palmer-ish. Like it's
totally
weird.
See May and Herbert. That is my comp too.
Yeah, and
very similar.
I've watched all 4 of their games this year. I mean, he struggled a little bit against South Carolina. He's making some throws, but man, that dude can put the ball on a line right there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, the Bears have 2 top 4 picks, top 5. Get me quarterback, obviously, if it doesn't work out. And I'm kind of debating. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm kind of like in between that. I want like a left tackle to protect them, to be here for 10, 15 years. But I also want a damn edge rusher, someone that can get to the different quarterback.
I mean, to me, it's Verse is going to be up there, but man, I can't pass that. I can't pass the offensive lineman.
The one from Penn State.
Yeah,
Fashanu.
Fashanu. Yeah,
Fashanu. Yeah, Olu Fashanu. And I mean, Alt is going to go. I know
Olu also is a great fucking kid.
Yeah,
and he's very, very young.
We also got
very young on top of it.
We got to stop the Trubisky, North Carolina stuff. Oh. They are 2 total. I'll tell you, I've watched every single one of their games in college. Yep. They're 2 totally different quarterbacks.
Yeah,
you
can't scout the school. That stuff is
you
dumb.
Cannot.
We've always said that.
I mean, who was a great Texas Tech quarterback before Mahomes?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just Yeah, no, we'll see though.
Don't draft a safety from New Mexico. They all suck, right?
Yeah, yeah. He returned punts there too, so can't take any punt returners either. No defensive backs from Miami that don't play defensive back and only kick return and punt return.
You can't scout the helmet. You got to scout the player.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I just hope that the Bears finally get out of this because I know how much you guys care about them and all the fans. I know I see it on Twitter. I see it. I mean, it's walk through a tailgate in Soldier Field. It's people still care. They still show up and they still care. And, I'm blessed enough where I get paid to do this. And, I've had to kind of put my fandom to the side a little bit, which sucks, but like, it is what it is. But like, I feel for the fans. Trust me. I say this all the time. I wish this team was good because I make a lot more money when this team is good.
Yeah.
My best year on my website was 2018. And, I don't like writing about negative stuff. And I'll tell you, the locker room is so much more fun when the guys are winning. So I hope it's the case for him. And plus, I have a kid who's 2 now. And like he said Bears for the first time, pointing to the Buccaneers game at the TV. And to me, that should have been like a monumental moment. And I almost had to apologize to him.
I lived that life.
I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy.
I can remember Ela saying to me, you got to let him pick his own team. I'm like, yeah, that's not fucking happening. Not in my house. And now I look over at him. I'm like, man, that poor kid. I'm like, I drove him into this, and now he's committed. He knows.
Same with my boy. He's like, I'm like Justin Fields, but I can throw.
Yeah.
My son.
Well, I just used it as a teaching moment for Riley. I said, you know what? We're in a bad spot, but you ride or die with your team.
Here's the best thing:
you don't switch.
Yeah. When they finally get out of it, it's going to feel so much better for everyone because of all the hard years everyone's had to go through.
Yeah,
I just hope I'm here to see that. Zach, I'm getting old now,
dude. I
turned 30. These guys.
I turned 34 in August, and I feel like I'm not going to be here to see.
You're young, though.
At the rate this is going.
Phil hit the big 5-0 this year, Zach.
That's right. Yeah.
Jesus. Man. I didn't even get a freaking gift from Zach for my 50th.
You got to come to a tailgate. I'll bring some ribs or something or some pizza. No, I won't bring pizza because I know you guys' stance on you guys' pizza.
We have a New Haven pizza.
Yeah, your guys.
You got to bring ribs. I'll take that.
Zach's going to go out back and grab some of the cold hot dogs that are left over from the press room upstairs.
Sunday will be the test. Sunday will be the test because it'll be the second home game.
With the second, we'll have to get a tweet from you, Phil and Shane. The food score this week.
I will tweet it.
All right.
Yep. Take a picture of it and tag TTNL Network, and we'll get it going.
If it's good, if it's bad, I don't know.
Yeah, and we'll manipulate your words and put out a short saying that you're coming for Larry Maier's job when Phil and Shane take over.
Oh boy,
we'll cut it a certain way.
All right, you guys take it easy. We'll have to do it again sometime soon.
Yes,
absolutely.
We'll have you back later in this long.
Next time I text you, Zach, there's gonna not be as much drama.
I hope not. Take it easy, guys.
Have a great night. All the best to your son. Happy birthday to him.
Thank you so much. You guys take care. Good health and keep up the good work, guys. Stay in touch too. We all have each other's numbers, so.
That's right.
There you go.
Later, guys.
Later.
That's my man, Zack Pearson.
Yeah.
Let's bring the rest of the crew in. There she is, Lady Bear. Getting ready to rock and roll.
I'll start.
Let's get through these
some of these in order.
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing them in order for
Benjamin Ricketts.
$4.99, my guy, the Utes. You guys think this is intentional, losing 13 in a row, being underdogs to a team that gave up 70?
I don't think I think last year, you get to the end of the year, and I know people didn't want to admit it. I think, there was some definitely legit tank vibes. I don't think you can get there to the point where it's 13 in a row. I just think you're absolutely inept. And when I said you have to be a special kind of awful as a head football coach and a guy that prepares game plans every week with Luke Getsy and Eberflus and Alan Williams. I mean, I don't think it's intentional at this point. I
don't think they're doing
I
it
don't
on
see how it can
purpose.
be.
He's thinking like more of a scripted thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I know they
but-
make a lot of jokes about it. D. Levine, we spent close to $900 on tickets to the Chiefs game and watched a shit show. $4.99 to support this channel is worth every penny.
Yeah, that's the guy that asked the question about the hair, and somebody was like, "Oh, you spent $4.99 on that question?" He's like, "Yeah, I spent $900 on
thanks,
go to a
Windy
fucking
City
game."
Twins.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate it. Tony
You got a
Adams,
good laugh out of us.
we didn't get your thoughts here for $1, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Why some of them aren't coming up? I don't know if it's a setting on their end for the. Yeah, I'll find out what it is.
Ryan Cox went over the $4.99 mark. Went to $5.
Harbaugh went as far as staying the night at a recruit's house. This guy eats, sleeps. He does. I've never worried about Jim Harbaugh's love and actually worrying about the details because they all matter to him. So no, Ryan's 100% correct.
That's what I see. Like Sean Payton's presser, I don't worry about Sean Payton's want to win and be a winner.
When Phil is saying, well, I think this is where people get lost is when Phil is saying, I want somebody that's maniacal. He's not saying that he wants somebody that's picking up the video board and smashing it over his offensive guard's head in front of everybody. He wants like Jaquan Brisker addressed when he's wagging his finger when you're down by 40.
In the moment.
Right. Get the fuck off the field. Sit over here. Rub some cocoa butter on your hamstrings or whatever you pulled this week. Yeah, address it right there. And I don't think any of that's happening with Eberflus. I don't.
No fucking way. He's too afraid. He's afraid. I see it. Like
Tony
no. He can't
do you
even
think
answer
Bears
the
management
question.
polls could consider him right now, trading him before he totally gets exposed at the end of the year? I'm assuming he's talking about
Trading
Fields.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the plans at all. I think he's going to get 75% of the season to prove that if he can come out and see, and I mean at that point you're going to be past the trade deadline, and it's a make or break year for him. I mean, year 4 he's still under contract, but if you have the number 1 pick in the draft and you draft Caleb Williams, Justin Fields isn't going to be here next year. Let's just be honest.
This one I can't wait to address this because we've said it a million times. Matt Hepler, $9.99 if you're listening. I'm sorry. But the quote saying Jalen Carter is better in Philly, end quote, is a complete admission this organization sucks. It's a matter of scarcity value. Generational 3 techs hardly come around, and Fuse admits it. I disagree with this, and we broke this down. The roll of the dice wasn't worth the risk with the culture that you have. And we're right based on what Eberflus is now. Do you think Jalen Carter would be a standout in this
Who's
thing?
Jalen Carter answering to here? Nobody,
Yeah,
because he would be the lead dog. And listen, we've talked about this, and I understand, and I don't want to say that this is when you're watching Philadelphia, I don't know how many fans are watching them. They're seeing the splash play, and I understand it. It's fun to watch. We broke it down, and there's too much with Jalen Carter where there's a splash play, and then you don't hear from him. You're going to find out who Jalen Carter is. It's not even going to be this season. There was a lot riding on him to be on the straight and narrow this season. You want to see where Jalen Carter is going to be in February, at the end of February, in March, in April, when there's not football, to make sure that it's going to be the top priority for him. Because I'll tell you what, in Georgia, there was a lot of coaches there where they had to beg and plead and poke and prod for him just to show up to practice. And it was an issue. We'll see if Jalen Carter is the same guy in year 2, in year 3. I understand the splash plays, and Philly's going to get the benefit of the doubt. And if you want to say that it's an excuse in Chicago, they have Fletcher Cox there. They have Brandon Graham there. They're surrounded by guys that have been in the league for 8, 9, 10 years, proven commodities. Who's he got here? Justin Jones?
Who hasn't made a play in fucking 6 weeks?
Right. Exactly.
Where's he been?
And I understand people get intoxicated by this splash plays. And yes, I understand it. But nobody's talking about in week 1 that he went against 2 rookie offensive guards, and then he went against the backup in week 2. I made a hell of a play dislodging the ball there the other night. Great play against the running back. I get it. We'll see. We'll see. When you're drafting a guy long term,
I think
it's
the
not
other
year 1.
dude said it too. Like he's going to be double, triple teamed here. Other guy, it's so much to that layer. I decided I have to give more to pay for the green room spread, Cherie. Danger W, $50 or $49.99. Thank you, Danger W, and thank you, Ryan Cox, and everybody who's Bill Wagner. Again, his comment isn't there. You'll have to send it, Bill, so we can see. Matt's coming back again. Matt Hepler, a public service announcement. Everyone should listen to the interview today at 670 Score. Josh Lucas, former director of player personnel. Fascinating. They honestly thought Mitch was smarter than Patrick Mahomes. Yep. They just weren't very smart. Thus, they thought that. Gary Cadishon. $2.
I'm sure you're 0 for 3, but we can get to the question. Is it unreasonable to switch to a 3-4? Yeah, I mean,
it ain't happening right now, bro.
Yeah, and it's not 4-3 versus 3-4. It's the scheme within the 4-3 from Eberflus that is the issue. Yeah.
If you're in cover 2 and you suck in zone coverage and tackling, there's going to be a problem.
And you draft press man corners.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Bear down Omaha, $2. New head coach Harbaugh or Flores? I'm not interested. What do you mean? You wouldn't be happy with one of them, Omaha?
Yeah. Who's your bear down? I mean, yeah. Well, who's your guy? Yeah.
Who's your guy?
I have a feeling in the chat he's going to say we should have got Dayball. That's usually what the
Kindy Nicholas, 1999. Thanks.
Dressed straight up in that profile picture.
He is. He's ready for church.
Poles failed the Bears fan base with his bargain shopping. You want lasagna with ramen noodles as the ingredients. What was the point of having the most money if you're not going to spend it? Well, okay. So this is. I enjoy questions like this because it's very, very easy to turn around, and it's super easy to be a GM when you're like, well, we should have spent the money. Well, play the fucking drop. Give me some fucking names, Kindy. Give me some names. Who? Give me some fucking names. Give this kid 2 fucking games. There you go. Building through free agency is the number one way to destroy your team moving forward. You don't. The way to do it is to build through the draft, and it takes time, and you supplement in free agency. Who are you going to spend the money on in free agency? Who are the big names that were going to come in and be difference makers and leaders? Unrestricted free agency is an absolute minefield where you end up paying C and B level talent A+ premium prices. And that becomes a problem. If you want to have a sound team, you better start hitting in the draft. And if you want to question Ryan Poles in the draft, 100%. That he's had 2 drafts, and Has he drafted a difference maker yet that we've seen on tape where we say this guy is an absolute difference maker? I happen to believe Darnell Wright is that guy, and I'm very happy with where he is. Is
So
there
am I.
guys with upside? Yes. Have we seen the true dominator day one guy where you're like, wow, okay. Yep, there we go. We get it. So yeah, you can question him there. You start building through free agency. It's a death sentence for your team. Ask Ryan Pace about that.
I don't know what this guy's. Can you say his name?
Rajneesh Omar. I see grown men crying over a kid's game. Shane got a sad face.
God bless you.
Like someone died, and Dr. Phil crying like a big baby. It's only football. Well, yeah, no, I understand what Rajneesh is.
God bless you.
Saying, yeah.
Did you sneeze?
He's saying that it's only a football game, but he's up at 11:30 at night in a chat room on a football related,
tell me you're an
video
asshole
podcast
without telling me you're an asshole.
Oh yes, I know it. He's waiting for the those little patch repair kits that you can get. You put the glue on it and you can put it over the thigh on your blow up doll because you're a fucking loser and bored at home, and the window just fell out of your single wide trailer and your fucking mother hates you.
Rajneesh, tough guy.
Sorry, Rajneesh. I'm sure
You're probably a nice guy. He
probably is. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sad though, Phil.
Gary Franklin, $10. Justin has no confidence in himself. Bajent is full of himself. The kid is tough. He does cold water plunges for the fun of it.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think Justin has the confidence. Like I said, I think I answered it earlier. I think he has no confidence in what's around him from the coaching staff. And I think
your names from Kendi.
Orlando Brown, Vernon Hargraves.
That's your. So I'm not down on Orlando Brown, but Vernon Hargraves is your answer.
Those are two guys you wanted. I wanted Orlando Brown too. To be honest, I thought it would be a huge upgrade to Braxton Jones is getting bullied again.
Yeah.
Remember,
I guess what I would ask him is
Orlando playing now?
He didn't get the other guy got he went to Cincinnati, but the guy that Kansas City replaced him with, they sat him down, Juwan Taylor.
Yeah, I know.
And as far as Vernon Hargraves, I don't know. I mean, that would be he's been on 3 or 4 teams. So I mean, if that's the guy that you want to spend money on, I guess that's debate. I mean, if you want to bring him in on a 1-year deal, sure, but that's what you should do in free agency.
I should be crying. I am crying, Jamie. Crying over the Bears. If you're not crying, I don't know what to tell anybody. Penn Point man struggle. My guy Yatsaki. Eric S. My guy. Anybody
I don't
else?
know. Is he struggling? I mean, you can buy the fucking repair kits on Amazon. Like I said, they're like $6. Pump that bitch up and go have fun, Rajneesh. I mean, what the fuck, bro? Pop some popcorn and go bang your blow up doll.
I agree with Troy here.
Yeah.
All of America is watching the NFL. Like, people are paying for the Sunday ticket. We're all watching football. We're analyzing it. We have passion. Rashish, apparently staying up watching our show, has passion for us. And that's cool. But it's a sad day for the state of the Chicago Bears. We'll go around and make our predictions and then get the shout outs. I truly appreciate everybody that participated in the super chat for the show and get your questions answered. Claudio, we're going to start with Cherie.
Okay.
We got one more.
Thanks for letting me know.
Danger W. Well, it's a trick.
Okay.
I feel like the team will always be this way until it's sold to people who are winners. Is what he's saying. And it's tough.
You gotta get stability at head coach to start.
The head coach will
gotta be
correct
viable,
the ship.
right?
The correct head coach will correct the ship.
Frankie, rewind the show. We talked about it.
And my guy wanted to correct his comment. New head coach better be, he said, Flores or Harbaugh, or I'm not interested.
Those guys are calling me out.
I like Bear down Omaha. He corrected him. Cherie, do you have we have cut it out now?
We
do.
Yeah, we can do it.
Oh, I skipped over. Well,
It's
been a
okay.
long
We can do
show.
it. It's all right.
Do you want me to play a little snippet
Yeah,
of
he
the new
broke my
song?
computer. Y'all might as well go ahead and do this. Cut it out.
You want to play a snippet for Claudia?
You can delete it now. You don't have to leave it on.
Oh, it's already deleted, Claudia.
I can do a little.
I won't
do you want
be
me
here
to put,
next week, so you
do you want me to put
play
something
it.
together
I won't be
real
here
quick
next
while
week.
you guys are talking predictions here? Phil, I can do something real quick.
Okay. You got some? Okay. Shane's gonna work on something in the
Yeah, it
back.
won't be a great open, but I'll
right.
Claudio's
right. Go ahead,
'cause
Claudia.
I just got the song today. Cool Kennedy, congratulations to him and his wife. They've closed on a new house.
Nice.
They've been moving.
Nice.
Yeah, they moved out of Elgin. I won't tell him where he's at now. Cool Kennedy. I won't tell nobody where you're at, my dude, CK. But congratulations to him and his beautiful family. They've closed on a house. What do you got? What do you got, Claudio? Coach gotta go.
We're doing the bold predictions first, right?
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
got?
so Cherie's. Oh, you want me to start it? I think you.
Oh yeah, I meant Cherie. I jumped around. Fuck.
Okay. You fucked up.
Love Cherie's mom. What do we got, Cherie?
I mean, nothing if you looking at the Bears.
Nope.
28-14.
28-14 Chicago?
Denver.
Oh, okay.
Chicago ain't doing 14 is a stretch. They keep coming down. They started out scoring 27. Last week they only scored 10.
You're on the air, baby.
14 is a stretch. So
14 is
14 is my bold prediction.
The giving them 14 points is your bold prediction. Claudio the Barber.
Yes.
Cherie's going 28-14.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, what Zach was saying about the coaching, I think that's a big difference. I think I don't see anything changing for us, sadly. But so I'll go. I'll do it 21-10.
21-10 Broncos.
So man, I fucked up, but for sure. Hopefully I did fuck up on that, and hopefully it's the other way around. But we'll see.
We'll see. We will see.
Good. The coach right now, honestly.
That's what I'm hoping.
He got his team to come out and play for the fucking against the Cowboys.
Did they beat the Cowboys?
Yeah, they beat the fucking Cowboys.
They
By
fucking
double
beat
digits.
the Cowboys,
Beat
guys.
the Cowboys. Everybody's high on the Cowboys, and then the fucking Cardinals said, "Not in our house."
J-Rock 35 Bear shit. I think the shit is nothing. 33-17 Joey Mangua. Eric Alley is going 21-10 at the half. He's predicting just a half.
It's a half.
He's predicted a half.
Then he turns it off. Is that when you turn it off?
27-3 MG83. I am going to I'm going to predict.
No.
How about Romo as head coach from Jay Grizz? $1.99. Nah.
Should have kept you $2, Jay Grizz. No. I'm kidding. Thank you.
He just popped in like that. It's fucking funny. But Jay Grizz, I love you, man. Thank you for the donation here. Yeah, throw your bold prediction with a super chat. Oh my God, that's a double bonus for you. Larati, it's going 12-12 tie. I'm going.
That's a bold prediction.
35-3, Denver.
Mm.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Somebody getting fired.
35-3, Denver, and it goes along with what Claudio said and Shane has said and Zach said. The head coach is going to have his team so prepared because he's a great coach. So I just believe we have a shitty coach. We are the worst coach team in football. It's not close. And all those people who said, did you happen to see the 7? They're going to see it on Sunday. And I'm going to say, did you happen to see the Bears game today? We'll see. We got a Bears prediction,
Otis.
a winner. Otis, patron number
Hey.
1, Jane. What do you think of that?
I think Otis is Mr. Positivity.
He really sees a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. I
Where's
mean,
my
I don't
boy?
want to live in,
listen.
I don't
Bears
want to live in
winning
negative
is not-
land either, but mine's not going to be quite as bad as Phil. I think that the Bears score some this week, but I still have them losing. I'm going to pick 34-24. Denver wins.
30, you got 10 points.
It's a high-scoring game for two teams who haven't won anything.
Yep. Well, the Bears, yeah.
Oh yeah, this was somebody else wrote me something. I don't know if it's you on Instagram. Is that you, Bear Down Omaha? I'm gonna share it. I was behind the Bears bench, he writes, in Kansas City. Row 2 can confirm nobody was fired up. Fields was miserable. No breath in the team. They were just punching the clock. If Bear Down Omaha is the same person who reached out to me and spent all this money to be right behind the Bears bench, he's like, listen, coach, it's the 4th quarter. Chris Morgan is talking with the offensive line, and they're all laughing and joking on the sideline as they're getting beat 34-0 or 34-3 or something like that. Paraphrasing it.
So I have the little sneak peek. It's about 30 seconds long, Phil, of the wonderful thing that we got today. And I cut it off after the best part of the song.
Okay.
Claude knows what
Tease it for the next
Yeah.
part.
So
All right.
here we go, Claudio. Get ready.
All right.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Yeah. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out, kid. Cut it out, son. Cut it out, kid. Cut it out, son. Cut it out, kid. Cut it out, son. Cut it out. Claudio know a thing or two about a cut. Telling people cut it out when they try to front. Online or in the field, kick them out like a punt. Rolling trolls up like a blunt. They might have to catch a fade. Claudio charge a 500 for the fade.
There it is. The line. Love it.
Oh, I gotta produce a great video
Cool
for that.
Kennedy's a man. I mean, that dude does that up in like a day. You know, he's amazing.
Amazing.
Thanks.
I
Cool
love
Kennedy.
that.
Yeah, it was good. I played it for my daughter today. She's like, "That's actually
You got to
pretty
hear
awesome."
it already.
Yeah, he sent it to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Claudio's.
All right, so let's just do this. Here we go. Here's the cut it outs of the week. We'll start with this. We talked a lot about the press conference, right? I snapped these two pictures because facial expressions are big. Body language is huge, and these are defeated guys. These are guys that don't have answers for stuff or don't want to say their answers. Fields, I mean, if you guys watched it, Fields looked like he was a fucking hostage. That dude did not move his fucking arms.
Jack Bauer had to save him.
He did not. It was horrible. I felt bad for him, but I also want him to just show some emotion. But cut it out, guys. Please, let's turn it around, or at least let's get honest in these press conferences, because that's the only way shit's gonna get fixed. So, and then speaking of facial expressions, so if you didn't hear, Taylor Swift was at the game. I don't know if anybody knew that. But Fox, can we cut it out showing every single fucking thing that she does in that press? Like, now I put 12 here because I spotted her 12 times getting the camera on her. That is more than we had points, and that's more than we had fucking first downs. Okay, so let's fucking cut it out with the fucking Taylor Swift bullshit, and that's about it. Cut it out. That's it.
There you go.
There we go. That's my cut it out. I'm sorry, Cherie. Cherie's like, I sent that Cherie to put up. She's like, you're making me put all these pictures of Taylor Swift in my computer.
Not only did we get our asses served, we also dealt with the Taylor Swift love.
It's just all week long. It's like, oh, Taylor Swift was here. Taylor Swift was at the game. The Bears are just such an afterthought. It's sad.
Well, I mean, the fact that the Bears got taken off of America's game.
Yeah,
America's game.
Yes, that's another. I forgot about that. They just said, "Oh no, we're not gonna watch this debacle anymore."
Well,
messed up. So
it's a tough day for the Chicago.
I don't think it could be as bad this week coming up. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not. But
we'll see. We'll definitely be covering it on Bears Hour Live right after the
waiting for
Bill.
He's overwhelmed. Give me some fucking names.
Imagine every week we're gonna understand the fucking why.
Fucking names.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this part, signal show is at its end. But for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Jane getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say they get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. Sense is strong.
can only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but
Jacko better do some shit. Jacko better do some shit. Jacko don't do shit. Jacko don't do shit now. Jacko don't do shit.
Oh,
underrated.
Where is that guy?
Underrated TTNL.
Last night he was on the Keepin' It fantasy show.
There, he didn't come in to say hello here. All his fans.
He's reading books.
The unveiling of the Jackal Don't Do Shit t-shirt. Fuck. Thought he'd be here for that. Only $19.99 in the TTNL Swag Studios. Jackal Don't Do Shit tee. Get over there.
$19.99.
$19.99, just like that, right, Cherie? Great show, right. TTNL fan. Bear down, smash the like button, Bears Nation. Frank Hacks. Thank you. Frank Hack's coming in during shout outs, sending us a shout out. Same with Carrie Franklin. Keep it at 100, the best. Thank you, TTNL.
Thank you, Carrie.
$10, Carrie Frank. Thank you, Carrie. Gotta get Carrie something special. Gotta do a Carrie Franklin song, CK. Remember we did an intro for Jay. Is it Onstad that we did the intro? Remember that?
I don't remember.
It was fucking kick-ass. Who did we do the fan intro for when they came on the show? It was great. This mother.
Yes! There he is.
There he is. Where's he? We should call him tomorrow. Next show. Listen, Otis Nichols, we shout you out, Otis. Cherie, you got anybody to shout out tonight?
In all honesty, I kind of want to address something that, I've seen it floating around on Twitter. Y'all don't have to. No, don't do that. Take me
Take her off. You don't want to be on.
You had time.
She's not camera ready.
Are you talking about your new boyfriend?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
No, I just want to address that. It's Bears related too. I saw fans doing it, and I don't tell people how to be a fan. I know we all frustrated, but I do think it's a little disgusting to sit here and wish death upon someone just for your team to be better. It's not a good look. I've seen it so much, and I started seeing it from people that I would have never thought would say anything like that. So that's the only reason why I'm addressing it, because I've seen it before, but it's getting to a point where you're disgusting. I'm sorry.
Who are they wishing death?
Virginia.
People are saying, I can't wait for her to die, so to speak. And it's like, come on, y'all. At the end of the day, she's still a mother, a grandmother. She's a human being.
Right.
So to sit here and say, I hope she dies, that's just horrible.
Well, did you see the one dude getting dragged rightfully on Twitter? He posted a picture of the World Trade Center and the plane just about ready to go into it. And then he had a picture up on the side. It was of Justin Fields dressed up like a terrorist.
Oh my God.
And posted that on Twitter.
How's that funny? I mean,
it's beyond dumb. And I'm like, how low do you have to be as a human being to get to a point where you hit send on that? Yeah. And he was getting rightfully dragged on Twitter, and then he ended up deleting his account, which is a good thing for all of us. But I'm like, come on, I understand being frustrated, and we're
like
mad.
Guys writing you jokes, Shane. Sometimes you gotta holster the tweeter, bro.
Yeah, holster the tweeter. Yeah.
But no, I did want to kind of express that, because I ended up having a lot of people just because they kept coming in my mentions. Because I'm tweeting out my frustration, but don't come at me with no praise and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, it's a
nice. That's fair. Good point.
Absolutely.
So I'm blessed to still have 3 elderly women in my life. So, and I would probably punch somebody in the face if I
Are they
heard
single? Do they have cell phones? Can I call them?
My grandmother is single.
Hey.
You gonna watch my shows with me, Shane?
Watch some, Grandma.
Shows with me. She called me. I do have that funny story. I talked to her, and she was like, she rarely complains about the Bears. But she was like, them coaches not doing it. It was just so cute to hear this 90-year-old woman complaining about how bad the Bears coaches are. So come on.
Can the fans in the game on Sunday get a fire loose chant going? Like the Steelers got a fire Canada chant going? I mean, you think that will happen?
We need to get that going. If I was there, I'd get
it. If they start sucking again, just start fucking chanting.
Eber lose. He's lost 13. What was that song? Evans lose.
Yeah.
I can make a whole. Where's cool? It was like a rock song, right?
Yeah.
Who is it, Shane?
I don't know.
Oh, that's Even Flow. It's Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. There, thank
you. Don't play it. Don't play it.
Yeah,
no. We will see Badgett before week 12. CeeLo the Clown will get Justin Field hurt before then. Bill Hasty. Yes.
Well,
I
was gonna bring that up. I mean, so say, obviously I don't want Justin to get hurt. Let's put that out there, right? But if he tweaks his ankle, something happens, right? Bajan comes in and just fucking lights it up. Do we put? Are you going back to the field?
Imagine this.
Not if he lights it up. No.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So you're not. So the investment thing is done. Once you see that Bajan can do it, you're
Jimmy Harbaugh.
Jimmy Harbaugh.
Cherie, show this to Grandma.
We want Harbaugh. I think we want Harbaugh is better. If you're a TTNL fan, I need, if they're playing if it's 35-3, like I predicted, I need to hear the boos. But then, in the fourth quarter, with 4 minutes, we need to hear, we want Harbaugh. That would be epic.
That would be great.
That would get.
That's pretty much says it right there. Fire Flus.
Oh my God. Can't believe.
Claudio Bernicola.
Yes, sir. I will shout out. Listen,
my daughter Alicia. She looks so cute in that picture today, Claudio.
She did. Yes, she really did. She did. She's my beautiful trader. I call her the trader. She went to my arch nemesis.
Went to the rival high school.
A rival high school.
I was talking about his daughters. I'm going to put my hands right up.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even. She's 15. She's 15. You'll go to jail. You'll be with fucking Alan Williams.
Jeez.
So,
no.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
say allegedly.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if he's saying tap that like button, but I'm going with that.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Obviously, everybody in the super chat. That's pretty dope. Shout out to Ivan and Jackal. Doing the fantasy show. I can't do it
without
Tuesdays.
you.
It's just I know. Just Tuesdays is too crazy. My wife's working.
I'm not tagging you.
I still have your social media info on the description. I figured I'll leave it there because Bratcher's still on ours for this show.
I know. So. But shout out to them. Doing their thing, and and you know what? Shout out to my fantasy team in my big money league. I'm 3-0. I have no Bears on the team, and that's why I'm 3-0. One of the reasons. So that's what I'm gonna shout out. My fantasy team. Let's go. Let's keep on trucking.
So how's your fantasy team doing with your QB?
My QB went down right out the gate. I should have drafted this motherfucker when he was on the Packers.
I know, right?
Probably would have died. It would not died, but would have gotten hurt with them. My whole team. I did have Brock Purdy as my backup.
So that's who you're rolling with now, Purdy?
Yeah, Purdy. But right now I'm 0-3. Cherie.
That's what I call Cherie's grandmother. Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy.
Logan, you're right. I forgot Eckler. I forgot Eckler in there. I didn't set my lineup in the TTNL league, and I still won. That's how good my team is. Still won.
Wow.
Guys are lucky.
Yeah.
He's lucky. Shane, any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, and I'm going to shout out all of our super chatters. They continue to amaze with their,
generosity,
and their commitment to TTNL, and of course our patrons and all of our loyal subscribers there, and everybody that turns out week after week for all of our content that we put out. If you're not a patron, just scan that QR code down there and go sign up if you want to see the truth, as hard as it is to digest. Phil will have it up there week after week for you, showing you the whys. Why do we suck? He's going to show you. So shout out to our patrons, the super chatters, and you guys here tonight. It's tough season, only heading into week 4, and as much negativity and ineptitude that we've seen all throughout this organization. It's you got to be a special kind of person to be a Chicago Bears fan. But you know what? I'm not changing my loyalties. Just like I'm loyal to all of you here, I'm going to stay loyal to the Bears through, well, maybe we'll get to the thick at some point, but we're stuck in the thin, shitty period right now. That's been most of my life. Yeah, so we'll see. So shout out to you guys, and of course my kids. Love you guys to death, and yeah, we'll see. We're on to next week, Phil. Denver.
On to next.
The shit show bowl.
Yeah, shit show bowl. Claudio, are you coming to the home game this Sunday, 10 a.m.?
No, I'm going to Pennsylvania for 5 days. I won't be on next week. I'm going to sell some junk and do my thing, my little side hustle. So
you're not going to see the home opener for the Venom, led by your.
No, I won't be able to be at that game. I will be at the next week's game for sure.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I want to shout out my assistant coach, Coach J.W. Fish, for all his support, everything he does. My wife for all her support. She's learning what it's like to be the coach's wife. God bless any woman who's the coach's wife. And I want to shout out Rashish, Kasoon Tight. Shout out Rashish. I hope you turn the corner on your passion. Find something that you love, Rashish, and hope that you could do that every day. All of the super chat, everybody on the network, everybody that shares, that Keith Riggle. I see Jack Baller's got a girlfriend, and he's in the chat right now. Shout out to him, Shane. He's changed his life. TTNL. Shout out to Greg Braggs from Bear Down, Omaha.
Did you see Greg Bragg's spot on the news channel?
Fox, yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
At the end, the guy goes, "You're gonna change your name to Greg Baggs?" Because that's what he put, Greg Baggs.
Oh, that's why.
Because he was talking about wearing a bag on his head. Nice Bear Down.
Well, didn't he copy that from Cars? Is that the story?
Yeah, Cars came out. When we opened Cars Keys last week, yeah, Cars. When I put him up on the screen, he was wearing a big paper bag over his head.
I might have to find me a nice one for next Thursday.
Everybody's got to get the bags on their head. Is that what he's trying to get at Soldier Field as well?
The brown paper bags, right?
The brown paper bags. Yeah. Hey, I'm not against it.
I need a good quality one, though.
I still like Greg.
I'm not smart.
It's okay. Still like him.
No.
We'll see you next week. I love all of you that help support this network. We're only going to get bigger and better with your support. And all of you in the chat, Los M, I saw you tonight. Otis Nichols, patron #1, the first guy who ever believed, and he's still a patron, even if we don't agree. Frank Hacks, Ben Rickett, all of you. So Jose Torres wanting a Chris Jackal don't do shit t-shirt. Alex Acevedo's got to get on that. Just Jackal waving right on a t-shirt, TTNL. He don't do shit on the back. Thank you all. We'll be back again tomorrow. If you're a patron in the afternoon, the thing will be there for you. The video breakdown of the Bears offense versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Jack Baller.
My father and I will be live on Saturday at some point.
Tomorrow night.
Schedule with him.
8:30.
And Cars Keys, 8:30.
Fuck yourself.
The legend of Cars. I gotta watch it because I don't know where Cars stands on it. He doesn't text me.
Yeah, he's not happy. He is all in on dropping the hammer loose. On. Oh yeah, he's all in
loose,
on that. Yep.
Welcome to my world.
He was very upset.
Did he give me any props? Did he?
He was.
Say
he
sorry
said you look almost taller because you've been so right, is what he told me today.
You're just floating. And,
Yes. Said that pushing that chest out, and he feels about 5'9" now. He said
5'9". I saw those socks that you could put on, and all of a sudden you get a couple
shoes
inches.
too. They got sneakers too.
I gotta get those. I don't want to get those sneakers. I see women wearing these fucking sneakers. They look like they're like spaceships, they're like giant soles on them. I'm like, what is that? Anyway,
my kid only got 6 plays. I'll boot you right up your ass with these big spaceships.
We'll see you next week. Shout out to everybody for joining us. Keeping it 100, the best Bears show on the planet right now. The Bears aren't near the best football team on the planet. Hopefully we get there. We're going to cover it all. Firings, hirings, trades, all of the craziness that is going down. Thank you, Zack Pearson, for jumping on with us tonight. We'll see you guys. The Bear Report. What?
And you know what we always ask ourselves, Phil, is it going to get better? Is it going to get better as Bears fans?
Nope. This is